doing, everybody? That's on. That's off. That's good. The game's about to start, about 2 or 3 minutes away from the first bounce. Oh, we've seen a few people already in here. How are we all doing tonight, guys? Make sure to put in the chat as well in the poll who you think's going to win tonight. I think 6 or 7 people have already voted for the Brisbane Lions. Not too surprising, going in as favourites. Already got your boy, Dogs Fan Plays, going for Essendon tonight. Oh, of course, mate. And just see if this is all good volume-wise on the stream. Good news, we've got ads, guys. That's great. We love that here. Probably just turn it up a little bit, but other than that, we should be good. All right. I didn't know Brisbane and Essendon had much of a rivalry, to be fair to you. Oh, shit. I personally think Brisbane have got this one pretty well covered tonight, if I'm being honest. But I think it'll be an interesting contest. So looking at the subs tonight, it is Elijah Sardis for the Bombers coming into the team this week, and Devon Robertson is the sub for the Lions. Looking at the ins this week, we've got a debutant for Essendon tonight, Zach Johnson, in for his first game. A lot of big outs for Essendon though. Ben Mackay, Zach Reid and Kyle Langford all out for the Bombers. So it's going to be tough for them tonight. Going up against Brisbane, of course, coming off a good win last week against the Hawks. And Essendon haven't been great against teams above them so far this year, so this is going to be a tough for them. But underdogs, maybe they can pull something out. Players just going to position into the middle right now to get the toss of the coin, of course. So Lockie Neal has won the toss. He's going to be going to the right-hand side of screen. So there's been a little bit of rain in Brisbane from the commentary just said then today. So looks like it has started to ease though. Crowd isn't exactly full, probably because of the weather. So players just about to make their way to their positions now to start the contest. So yeah, players moving into their positions now. It's going to be tough for Essendon tonight. They're going to have to show a lot of spirit to pull something out here. Zach Merritt's gone straight into the middle of the ground, has to lead from the front tonight. So here we go. Thursday night footy, round 12, about to get underway. So here we go. Up in Brisbane tonight. So first tap from Goldstein. Essendon looking to try and get on the outer side, but well done there to Brisbane. They win it out. McCluggage to Berry. Off to Zorko. Onto his right boot. Inside the forward 50. Up and under sort of ball. Lands nicely for Hipwood. Little handball out towards Bailey. Wrapped up by McGrath. Got it out somehow. Shoveled it out to Dunkley, who just squirts one forward, but it trickles out of bounds into the forward pocket. So Brisbane with the early territory. So inside the forward 50 for the first time for Brisbane. Hipwood in the ruck. Almost took it out of there. Spills to Goldstein. Gives it out to Laverde. Clears it for the Bombers. In front was Kako. Did well. Guelphy got it tapped away from him. Bailey. Tapped out the back. Andrews. Right back to Payne. Further on to Leicester. And he wants to switch on the outer side. On the bounce. Bailey gathers it well. Doesn't have a lot of options here. In fact, it's Cameron. Eventually found a nice looking kick on the lead up. And it's up Archie. Probably best game of the season for him last week. Nice little 45 metre kick. Hits his target. And now Rayner blasts it long. Looking for a flyer. He can't take the mark. Durham on the ground. Got wrapped up. Handballed it out. Looking for Roberts. Been good. Bit of a rising star chance this year. Got it up the wing. Andrews did it well. Clawed it out of the Essendon hands. And now Payne blasts it long. Up went Lohman. And spawned out of bound by Roberts. How you doing, Boston? You tipped Brisbane tonight? Yeah, I mean, I've tipped them too. I tipped them by quite a bit, I think, actually. I have to actually have a look, but... yeah, I think most people will be tipping Brisbane. You're going to the game on Saturday, Sydney v Adelaide? Oh, it's going to be... I mean, I've tipped Sydney, not with much confidence, though. So Caldwell kicks the clearing ball, did it okay in the end. Durham, handball towards Kako, but too far out wide, and Leicester sees it out of bounds. So opening stages of the contest. Centre wing here. Goldstein, little tap down. Dersma did it well. Caldwell over the top to Durham. They link up nicely here. Essendon. Kako went into a move. Got tackled by Leicester. Got the handball away though. Dersma to Caldwell. Inside kick wasn't great. Archie turns it over. Off to Rayner. He sprints away from his opponent. Blasted inside the forward 50 for Cameron. Didn't have eyes on it. Lands nicely. Gave off the handball to Lohman. Little chipping ball. Wasn't great. And Hipwood got a spot away from him by Laverde out of bounds. Lohman probably needed to get more of a kick on that. He just kicked, just a little dab kick, went about 5 metres. Wouldn't have even been a mark. Bit of a waste. Tip Sydney too, because I'm rooting for the Swans. Yeah, not bad, man. All right. Hopefully you being there's a bit of a lucky charm, I'd like to think. So throws it back into play. Goldstein with the tap. Dunkley off to McCluggage. Ducked out of a tackler. And now Berry snapping it towards goal. In the goal square was Cameron. Just couldn't take the grab. And trickles through for the first score of the evening. So Essendon want to go on the outer side. They work it out with Martin. Inside kick went 5 metres to Caldwell. Tried to claim the mark. Got called to play on. Roberts turned it over. Brisbane will hold on the pressure. Archie to McCluggage. Jammed it on the boot forward. Worked it well. Cameron takes the mark. And that will be 50. Has to be the first goal of the night. Looks like maybe an umpire called touched. Essendon players are pleading to the umpire. Not impressed there, the Bombers, but Cameron gets the 50-metre penalty, takes him to the goal line, and Brisbane get the first goal of the night. Well, had a real burst last week, kicked 3 goals in 3 minutes to get his team up and about against Hawthorn. And starts the nice goal here. As Country Road rings around the Gabba. Haven't seen the Swans all year, so they're waiting for me. Of course, what was I thinking? Only game I've gone to this year was the opening round GWS versus your Pies. Well, that wasn't very good for your team, was it? Although they've only lost a couple of games since, so it hasn't been too bad. So a great start here for Brisbane. Laverde is adamant that it was called from a different umpire. Or at the very least it wasn't 15, but not going to matter now. So good start here for Brisbane. Fought with the tap. Neal was there, couldn't get there. Dunkley was held up. Good tackle from Setterfield. Got the kick away. Hobbs jams it forward towards the 50. Zorko should get there first. Guelphy went in hard. Ball trickles out for Berry. Neal missed his target and it runs out. So Essendon's first approach to their forward half. So it looks like maybe Matt Guelphy's having a bit of a role tonight on Dane Zorko. Interesting call. Obviously, Dane has been very good in the defensive 50 for the last year and a bit. Fought with the tap down. Ashcroft trying to burrow through. Durham wasn't letting him go. Ball spills. Clark on the up. They're working forward here, Essendon. Guelphy's handball, a bit up and under. Martin was too smart. Kicked it in the pocket. Nice kick. He's been in career best form, Nick Martin. And that was a great kick from the pocket. Well, first time Essendon have entered their forward 50. And they get a goal. Perfect play from Essendon. Haven't lost since then, Collingwood. I think they lost once, didn't they? They lost to Geelong, didn't they? Have they only lost 2? I think it's only 2. Yeah, so they lost to Geelong. But yeah, that's the only other loss. I've tipped Collingwood against Hawthorn, but Hawthorn have a pretty decent record against them. So back in the middle, Nick Martin enters the middle of the ground. Goldstein with the tap. Bailey almost held without it. Spills to Martin. He's racking them up with ease. Handball out wide to Durham. Onto Roberts. They can work this up here, Essendon. Now Clark on the inside kick on the bounce. Missed his target though. Ashcroft tracking it here with Goldstein. Ashcroft worried him out of it. Dunkley spilled away from him. Martin went to ground. Wilmot over the top to Bailey. Further on to Zorko and Brisbane escape with relative ease. So now Charlie Cameron already kicked a goal. Yeah, on the siren. Jack Crisp just missed, yeah. Maybe that's why you forgot about it. It wasn't really a good memory for you. Long kick towards Rayner, just out of bounds on the full. Almost got hands to it. So now they have it with McGrath. Right on the half-back line. Blasts it up the wing towards the one-on-one. Good mark there from Andrews in front. Right in front of Peter Wright. It's an important game for him tonight. Goes back to Fletcher. Further on back here to Jack Payne. So Brisbane just taking a cautious approach here. Fletcher, probably his best year so far. Playing a little bit more in the defensive half so far this year. He goes on that outer wing once again. Hits up Bailey. And he wants to go back into the corridor. Good looking kick for Hipwood. Just inside the centre square. Low ball. It's a bit of a tumbler inside the forward 50. Hard to control. Gardner. Handball on the up to Fort. Oh, great little move. Gave the handball on to Archie. It was a bit hot for him. He was well to control it. Now Fletcher snapping it towards goal. And he stuck it home. Quick reply, Brisbane. Darcy Fort deserves a lot of praise for that effort. Did well there, Fletcher. He had the ball right in the back 50 about 30 seconds earlier. He tracked all the way to the forward 50 and kicks the goal. That kick from Hipwood was one of the worst kicks I've seen from an AFL footballer. But the chaos ball isn't always the worst thing in the world. Well, good work there from Brisbane. Just got that bend at the final moment there, Jasper Fletcher. Premiership player last year, of course. Kicked a big goal in the semi-final last year as well. So back in the middle, fought with the tap towards Dunkley. Decided to just soccer it off the ground. Bit more chaos here for the Lions. Rayner, what a pickup. Wheels around on the right, straight through the middle. Cam Rayner, what a sight to see in full flight. Well, Brisbane, they have looked like scoring a goal every time they enter their forward 50. Bit of Sweet Caroline as well now for Cam Rayner. A little bit too easy here for Brisbane. Just the last two entries inside their forward 50. Essendon under siege at the moment. So from the tap down, well, Ashcroft coming through was almost held. He will get the free kick, in fact, here, Will Ashcroft. Some people calling him Lord Farquhar. I see it definitely. He gives off the handball to Fletcher inside the forward 50, a little bit too easy. So Bailey just takes it inside the arc. It's a long way out though. Don't know if he's got this in him, Zach Bailey. He's just going to go into the pocket. Little pop kick from Redwell there from Essendon. Dersma takes the relieving mark. So it gives off the handball to Roberts, and they want to go on the outer side. High kick's not a great option. Turned over. Good mark from Berry in the air. Just outside the forward 50 here for Brisbane. So he takes his full measure, smothered on the mark by his former teammate and Pryor. Spills to Ashcroft, top of the goal square. Good kick, and now Archie. Under siege, like I said a moment ago, the Bombers. And now Cal Archie a chance for his first. Well, it was best on ground last week, Cal Archie, and a great performance for Brisbane. Best game of the year for him. Straight in front, 20 metres out. Shouldn't have too many issues. He snuck it home, made the umpire work a little, but all that matters is the result. Brisbane have 4 early goals. So someone yet to get into this contest so far is Zach Merritt. I've hardly seen him at the moment, and he really needs to start to get involved in this contest, or this game's going to quickly slip away from his Bombers. So back in the middle, still 13 minutes left in this opening term. Already conceded 4 goals, Essendon. So from the middle of the ground, Setterfield trying to make that change. Caldwell gets the clearance. Wide-looking kick on the bounce. Couldn't gather it. Day Wicks there up against Harris Andrews. Andrews had it in momentarily, but eventually is called out of bounds. So just throws it back into play, right with the tap. He gathers his own tap in the end, gives it to Perkins, sends it up the chimney. It's gone higher than it's gone longer. Couldn't take the mark there with Ainsworth, and it spills out basically where it was moments ago. So early touches, looking at it for Brisbane, Josh Dunkley with 6 along with Jai Caldwell. So from the tap down, ball out the back, Ashcroft almost taken high. In fact, he was. So Will Ashcroft will get the free kick. Just on the backside of the centre square. Goes out towards the wing for Rayner. All on his own, has a lot of space, a lot of time to work with. Kicks it towards the 50, nice looking ball. So Brisbane taking a little bit more of a cautious approach here. Works it inside the forward 50. And eventually it's worked out. It's gone to Bailey. Don't know if that was his intended target, but it'll work out in the end. Great kick there from Logan Morris. Zach Bailey had a pretty good start to this game and been very good so far this year. He'll kick from just inside 50, 45-degree angle. Kicked one last week. Has been one of their better performers so far this year for Brisbane. He comes in, kick is a little bit left and stays out there. Just seems like there's a bit of a lull in this game at the moment. Seems like Essendon need a bit of a spark. So Dersma has it at halfback. Goes up the wing here on the commentary side. Numbers are with Brisbane. Caddy couldn't get his hands to it. Did well here is Ainsworth. Inside to Neil. And now he can open it up. Goes through the corridor. It's a good kick. Berry didn't have to break stride. He goes from 50. Jared Berry just kicks it wide. So Merritt taking the kick in here, trying to get involved. Kicks a long ball up the wing once again. Levi Ashcroft up against Dersma. Ashcroft did it well. Ainsworth comes back to Ashcroft. And they're just playing with him a little bit here, Brisbane. Payne, oh, he turned it straight over. Here's a chance for the Bombers. Dersma to Hobbs. Short kick was nice. Hits up his target. Just has to hold up Gresham. Now goes long for Kako and Caddy. They can raffle it. And Kako is the one who decides to glide in front and take the mark. So a really important game for both him and Caddy tonight. With a couple of players out, it's going to be tough for Essendon. But now Kako. He'll come around the body and he's hit it too skinny. They need to take their chances tonight, Essendon, if they're any chance of causing an upset. So a short ball now for Brisbane is Bailey. Hits up his target to Berry, who's racking up a few touches early in this game. So right on the half-back line here is Berry. Wants to try and switch the play. Goes right back to Jack Payne. And goes towards the commentary side. He's got a couple of numbers here. Goes towards Harris Andrew. It's a good kick. Always looking corridor here. Brisbane trying to open up the play. Doesn't really have a lot to go to. Oh, he's worked himself into a bit of pressure. Got the handball back here to Ashcroft. This is Levi. And he goes with a short kick to find Ainsworth. But worked him into a little bit of pressure there, Harris Andrews. Was good enough to get away from it. So Ainsworth. Goes for a 50-metre ball long up the line. Fort did want to bring it to the ground. Lohman in and under. Just couldn't gather it cleanly. Durham sits on top of him. Now Setterfield wrapped up by Fort. It's a ball up. So just under 10 minutes into the opening quarter, Brisbane with a hot start, 4 of the first 5 goals. So Lockie Neal is wrapped up again at stoppage. So back with the ball in. Neither ruckman could get to it. Setterfield in and under, pushed off it. McGrath back handball to Durham. It turned it over. Ashcroft. Fort tapped it onto Neal. He goes back on the outside on his right boot. Low worm burner. Good kick to McCluggage. So just outside 50, Hugh McCluggage. Had a really good start to the year. It's come off a little bit. Just a little short kick. Wasn't great. 2 numbers there with Essendon. Dropped their head a little. Gardner in with a bump on McGrath. Ball handballed into danger. Perkins with the clearing ball. Only goes to McCluggage. Into the pocket he goes. High fly. Great mark from Morris. 30 games into his great career so far. Re-signed with the Lions only a few weeks ago to stay for a few more years. He's their future, but playing well above his age. That's a great mark. Laverde was hot on his hammer, held strong in the air. So played in the Premiership last year, Logan Morris. Tucked up in the pocket. It's going to be a tough kick. And he's kicked it wide, too wide. In fact, he hasn't scored. So 7:40 left in the opening term. So a kick here for Johnson for his first touch in footy. Did well to kick across the goal face, and they work it out here, Essendon on the outer side. Long kick. Bit of a tunnel there from Hobbs. That was dangerous. Umpire says play on. Pryor on the inside to Perkins. Short little kick into the corridor was nice. So Gresham goes with the kick out wide. Works it well here to Hobbs. Berry grabbing at his ribs here. He was tunneled out of that play. I'm surprised the umpire didn't pay the free kick. So now Hobbs. Blasts the long ball inside the forward 50. Looking for an option here. Standing in front was Payne. Got pushed out of it. Now McCluggage onto Answorth. Clearing ball outside the area. And Rayner, strong in the air, takes a good mark. So Rayner gives it off to Zorko. They want to go with pace here, Brisbane. Nice kick to Lohman. So right on centre wing here is Kai Lohman. Went to go on the outside, then realised there's more space in the middle of the ground. So goes to Wilmot. He'll want to play on. He ducks and weaves and kicks long. Should finish it, Darcy Wilmot, with no pressure around him. Blasts it through. And he absolutely loved it. Well, a bit of danger signs here for Essendon. There was no pressure on Darcy Wilmot. He ran a good 30 metres through the middle of the ground, unseen by a black and red jumper. And that was just too easy there for Brisbane. Darcy Wilmot, great celebration as well, if you don't mind. Well, a blistering start here for Brisbane. Essendon needs something through the middle of the ground. So Goldstein from the tap. Caldwell trying to grab it cleanly. Clark wrapped up. And it'll be a ball up again. Essendon needs something here. They're getting blown off the park in this opening quarter. Touchdown. Clark try to get it through to Goldstein. Hit high, surely. Umpire says play on. Put the whistle away in this opening term. Guelphy can't get rid of it. The umpire calls for it. There's still 6 minutes to go in this quarter. Tap down from Fort. Caldwell coming through. Couldn't take it cleanly. Daywicks, good tackle on Fletcher. And another ball up. Zach Merritt, I think, has only had one touch so far. Needs to get involved in this contest. Fort with the tap. Berry coming through, tackled by two Bombers, and again, they can't break away. Well, if anyone tipped Essendon going for an upset, you would be ruining that decision early on in this game. Goldstein from the tap, breaking through Daywicks, did it well. Setterfield, out the back. Towards Clark and Johnson, worried out of it by Lohman. Coming through hard was Laverde, left the ball behind though. Archie tried to get rid of it. Setterfield wrapped up again, and we'll get the ball back. And Lohman, ooh, he's given away the free kick now. Lohman, he's given away the free kick there. Lohman, there was no need for that. He slung him to the ground. He's given away a free kick here for Essendon. It's going to go to Setterfield. So he goes back here to Laverde. And he wants to go with a big sweep down. So umpire throws it back into play. Essendon feels like they need a goal here. Goldstein tapped it down. Durham wrapped up. Spills out to Ashcroft. He clears it out the defensive area. Long kick. Pryor did well to bring it to the ground. Merritt about to get into a move. Handballed on to Pryor. Further on now, they work it okay. Hobbs going back to work it forward now. Redmond. Little dab kick was dangerous, but strong hands from Martin. And hang on, free kick's being... No, it's actually an injured player. They've had to stop play here for Durham. There's a real concern here for Sam Durham. He's limping. He's grabbed at his right ankle. So making his way off the ground now, Sam Durham. So they've stopped the play here for the injury. They've been very hot on that the last week or so. He immediately grabbed for his ankle too in the tackle. So not great. Hopefully it's just a rolled ankle and he can just get it strapped up. But, oh, yeah, Leicester. It's going to be... yeah, that doesn't look great. Leicester with the tackle land on his ankle. So play continues now. Martin sets it up to the top of the goal square. Harris Andrews is there, and he's strong in the air. Yeah, Durham can barely walk. That's not great news there for Essendon. So Neil wanted to go on the outer side, but just cuts back here to Andrews. So Brisbane just taking a cautious approach here. Goes to Fletcher, and now on to Berry. So 4 minutes still to play in this opening term. Jared Berry has it at half-back. Brisbane just more than happy to just chip it around at the moment. Goes with a big switch now, and he finds Levi Ashcroft. Up the wing, not a great-looking kick, but Leicester was up to it. Now Brisbane can go. They link up through hands. Ashcroft further out wide to Leicester. He cuts back in, kicks it inside the forward 50 to a lead. Going back with the flight was Redmond who dropped it, and now Archie held up. Got away with that one, Essendon. Brisbane's kick wasn't the greatest working inside their forward 50. So Elijah Stardust getting warmed up now. Could potentially be making his way on for the Durham injury. Martin to Perkins. Merritt underground handball to Hobbs. Kicks it up the wing. Terrible kick. Turned it over to Ashcroft. So Levi trying to find the correct option here. Called to play on, even though he did not move. So he just kicks it high, looking for a flyer. Morris goes up, almost dragged it down too. Archie to Gardner, tucked up in the pocket. Snaps it to the top of the goal square. Essendon have numbers. Good mark from Clark. What a performance from him last week on debut. 3 goals. It was a brilliant performance. Playing as a wingman tonight. That was a great grab too. So it goes up the wing towards a one-on-one. Wilmot just easily disposed of his opponent. Called to play on now, Wilmot. Went to go handball, realised he should just go long instead. So looking for a flyer in the marking contest. Leverde brought it to the ground. Redmond to Martin. Kicks it out wide to the lead. Takes a good grab there, Hobbs. He's had a few early touches, Ben Hobbs. So he gives off the handball to Redmond. Short little kick up the wing. Nice option in the end. So Essendon have done pretty well here to just settle and not let the scoreline go too far. So Setterfield goes long. Andrews did well there, caddying to bring it to the ground. Ainsworth underground, out the back to Wilmot. Almost worried out of it by Kako. Wilmot did well to get back onto it. He's had a good start. Fought. Long handball out the back to Zorko. And now Brisbane just repel on the outer side. So Leicester goes a long kick towards Morris. That was a tough hit. He's given away the free kick here, Clark. Got hit hard, just wasn't looking at it all the way through. So Morris, low kick towards the middle of the ground. It's a dangerous option. McGrath, almost worried out of it. Johnson, look away, handball's a bit fancy. Cameron gives it off now to Rayner. Helicopter ball inside the forward 50 for Gardner. It gets out the back. Archie, you don't want to leave him out the back. Over the top, and Lohman should just sock it off the ground with ease. So Brisbane get their 6th goal of the opening term. Kai Lohman gets on the scoreboard. That's actually Kai Lohman's first goal of the year. Are you serious? Holy shit. It's been a great start for Brisbane. They led it by 32 points. Arguably could be further in front. So with a minute and a half left in the opening term, Brisbane led it by 32 points. Goldstein with the tap. Straight down to Setterfield. Here, Essendon can get the clearance here. Not a very meaningful one. It goes straight up into the Gabba night sky. Ainsworth couldn't take it. Kako worried out of it. Tapped it forward. Guelphy Further on, back to Kako, who sprung up like a sprinkler. Kick inside the forward 50 is wayward and out on the full. So it'll be a kick here to Leicester. Essendon needs something here. They have been demolished in this opening quarter. So now Leicester goes with the kick up the wing. Numbers 4, Morris couldn't take the mark. He put out the back. Cameron works the kick forward. Nice looking ball for Gardner. Strong hands. Only have a minute left here, Brisbane. They can try to venture forward, maybe get their 7th goal. Well, he's about to get shut down. Just got the kick away in time. It's a high up and under ball. Hipwood played for the free almost. It gets out the back. Merritt was there with Bailey, and it trickles out of bounds. So Elijah Sardis is the sub for Essendon. Sam Durham came off with an injury about 5 minutes ago. So he'll probably be seen a little bit more at quarter time. Sampai throws it back into play. Fought with the tap. Coming through strongly was Dunkley. And Kai Loman's making his way off the ground. Has had an injury-riddled season so far. He's come straight off the ground. It's gone immediately down to the room. So maybe a concern here for Brisbane. So back at the game, Caldwell, he's dove on that. He's going to be in trouble if he doesn't get it out. Umpire says no, give it to me. So it looks like it was in the marking contest here for Kai Loman. Just got his legs caught up and just couldn't get a mark on it. May have been just a twisted ankle. Yeah, it is. So hopefully he's okay. So Essendon trying to get it out of their defensive 50. And just outside, probably just inside their forward 50 here, Brisbane, with 20 seconds left in the opening quarter. So Sam Durham looks like he's okay. Just got his ankle re-strapped. Hopefully he'll be back on in the second term. So Clark worried out of it there by Dunkley. Ball comes out only as far as Leicester. Jams it inside the forward 50. 2-on-1 here in Essendon's favour, and Laverde takes a relieving mark. So the time will tick out here for the opening term. Brisbane dominant at the Gabba. They lead it by 32 points going into the first break. 6-9, 39 to Brisbane. Lead Essendon 1-1-7. All right, let's look at the statistics here. Which one is it? This one? No, not that one. That one. All right, let's have a look at the statistics here, the opening term. So looking at the disposals, Jared Berry racked them up for fun, especially in the first 15 minutes. He got 8 touches in the opening term. Redmond, Martin, and Archie all with 7. Setterfield with 6, along with Rayner, McCluggage, Lester, Hobbs, Fletcher. Fucking hell. How many more people got 6? Fletcher, Christ. Dunkley, Cameron, Caldwell, fucking hell. Bailey, Will Ashcroft, Harris Andrews. Jesus Christ. A lot of early touches there. Brisbane absolutely dominant on the AFL fantasy front. 38 to Berry, 36 to Fletcher, 36 as well to Archie, 33 to Setterfield, Cameron with 32, Wilmot 29 along with Zach Bailey as well. Where the hell are my players? Ashcroft brothers. That's not good. Where the fuck is Zach Merritt? Oh, God. You don't want to be going down this far for fucking early points. I thought Clark had a lot more than that in the opening term. Anyway, thought he did. I guess he must have given away a free kick, I guess. But yeah. Oh well. So both subs have not been made at this stage. However, Durham and Loman are the injury concerns for both teams. Loman, both of them look like they just rolled ankles. It looked like Durham would have made it back onto the ground if there was more time in the opening term. So that is good for Essendon fans out there. But an opening term of not much fair for Essendon. It was a very dismal opening quarter. Oh, I'm going to get myself a drink quickly. Oh, my butt. Come on, Essendon, make this a freaking contest. That was a fucking dreadful first quarter, I'm going to be honest. That sucked. Come on, you got to give us some fucking entertainment here, Essendon. That was dreadful for that first term. Holy shit. Yeah, there's been no pressure on the ball carrier. So players just about to make their way to their position to the second quarter. Brisbane dominant in the opening term, 6-1. So the doctor's still talking to Sam Durham here. So Kyle Lohmann has made his way back onto the ground. So that is good signs there for Brisbane. So second term about to get underway. Essendon need a response. Goldstein with the tap. McCluggage threw that away. Play on, says the umpire. Fort kicking it forward. Ricochets to Neal. Further back here to Dunkley. They get the first clearance. Inside the forward 50. Free kick's been called. And it's a free kick to Essendon. So Durham looks okay. Snyder still sitting in the back seats here for Essendon as the sub. So a short kick here from Laverde finds Merritt. Needs to get into this game. Short kick to find Martin. He can give it back to Merritt here. They can go through the middle. He decides to go towards the wing almost. Roberts went up. Wilmot against two did really well and then fought for it hard. Great work from Darcy Wilmot. Got wrapped up by Guelphy, but the teammates will get around him there. Darcy Wilmot, that was brilliant. Tap down from Goldstein. Caldwell wins it. Handballing forward towards Hobbs on the bounce. He breaks away from his opponent, just cuts back for a moment, gives it to Merritt. Low looking kick was nice to Caldwell. He can keep on going here, Caldwell. This looks better from Essendon. Inside the forward 50 for Wright. Couldn't take the mark, but he'll get the free kick, and this will be the perfect start here for Essendon. So Durham still doing some run-throughs on the bench at the moment. Meanwhile, back at the game, great work there from Peter Wright. That was better footy from Essendon, a lot more quicker. And that eventually got themselves the free kick. So Peter Wright comes around the body. Great finish. Essendon, perfect start to the second term. Well, they needed that one desperately. They worked it well in the end, Essendon. Sorry, I'm trying to get the scoreboard right. There we go. That's better from Essendon. It was a lot quicker. Put the Brisbane defence under pressure. So back in the middle we go. Fought with the tap. Straight down to Setterfield. Immediately wrapped up by McCluggage. Called for a ball up. But it just seems a lot more dynamic Essendon in this second term. So Goldstein straight down to Ashcroft. Bouncing ball forward. Wrapped up there by McGrath. Another ball up. So tap down. McCluggage through his legs. Threw it onto the boot. There was Fletcher. Ball in dispute there. Merritt wraps up his opponent in Lockie Neal. And it'd be called for another stoppage. So Zach Merritt playing a little bit more D50 area at the moment. So fought with the tap. Dunkley tried to slap it forward to Neal. McCluggage up against Setterfield. McCluggage going in hard. Somehow got rid of it, but turns it over to Merritt. Getting a few early touches here, Zach Merritt. Kick up the wing on the bounce towards Guelphy. Sees it out of bounds. So just on the defensive side of the wing here for Brisbane. Tap down from Fort. Couldn't take it cleanly there. Neal hit up through the midriff. Hobbs got the kick away on the bounce. A bit of a dangerous ball, but they work it out here. Kako onto Martin on the handball. Turned it over though. Roberts stood still and stolen by Brisbane. Lohman can cut back inside. Inside the forward 50 with the kick. Going back with the flight, Bailey. They will make you pay full price, Brisbane, if they're given the chance. The handball from Martin just wasn't great, and Roberts standing still. Bailey quick on it. Did well to cause the turnover, worked up forward and got the mark. So Zach Bailey, a chance here to give themselves back that 32-point lead. Kicks it wide. So Zach Bailey only 2 behind so far in this game, even though he's been very dynamic around the footy. So Merritt with the kick. Goes out, finds Archie Roberts. So he goes the long kick up the wing, looking for the one-on-one. Durham up against Payne. And fist out of bounds. So Durham is back on the field, but he's definitely hampered by that injury. So center wing here, tap down, gets out the back here to Bailey, Neal. They're working backwards here, Brisbane, trying to get it forward. Zorko runs a circle, kick on the up to Fort, didn't go 15, so quickly back to Zorko. Inside kick went about 2 metres, I would say. Play on, says the umpire. Bailey weaving out of traffic, inside the forward 50 for Lohman, pushed out of it by Johnson. Did well there, the debutant. Redmond to Pryor, and now McGrath can clear on the outer side. Long kick towards a one-on-one, Gresham and Lester. Lester did it well. Fisted down though only as far as Hobbs. He gets the 1-2, then fumbled at the crucial stage. He's under pressure. The kick on the inside to Caldwell. Should get a free kick. Oh, the mark's paid instead. They got away with that one there, Essendon. They were about to break forward, but a couple of fumbles cost them. Cost them with a quick rebound, so Caldwell has it on the point of the defensive side of the square. He blasted into the sky once again, looking for Caddy, but McCluggage going back with the flight took a good relieving mark. So McCluggage going back here to Harris Andrews. And goes to Answorth. So Brisbane going with another switch, trying to shift the defence of Essendon. He finds Darcy Ford at halfback. Realises that's not the option, so now goes back. And his kick finds Ashcroft, true centre halfback. Goes with a kick wide to Hipwood. He sees the lead up of Zach Bailey, who's racking them up in this second term. Doesn't have a lot of options, but the pressure isn't there with Essendon at the moment. So Brisbane just finding easy little 15-metre kicks to just edge up the up the ground. So now McCluggage. Goes into the pocket. Oh, what a kick. Great work there from Darcy Fort just to edge past his opponent and take an uncontested mark inside the forward 50. Of course, came into the grand final team last year. Won himself a premiership medallion. Came from the clouds to really take that medal. Oscar McInerney, really unfortunate injury in that prelim final. But had a really good performance in that granny. Been in and out of the team so far this year, Darcy Ford. It's going to be a tough kick here for the ruckman. He comes in and he just misses, hits it into the post. It's a tough kick, but he looked pretty good off the boot. But they're peppering a little bit here, Brisbane. Kick outside the goal square there from Brisbane. Turned over and kept inside the forward 50 here for Brisbane. Locked inside the forward 50 here for Brisbane. From the tap down. Spills to Pryor. Quickly on the up to McGrath. They do it well here, Essendon. To Dersma. Outside of the boot, outside the defensive 50 was nice to Daywicks. So they're trying to get some run in the game here, Essendon. Dersma on to Perkins. They're playing on at every stage. Goes with the kick into the corridor. It's a good kick. Redmond takes it well. He wants to go. Kicks it towards the point of the square. Forward side, finds Clark. Looking for a lead up. Didn't have one. He has to hold up for the moment. Now goes into the pocket. And right! Too strong. Takes a good mark. So Peter Wright flexes his muscles there. He's already kicked one in this second term. A chance here to go back, get his team within 4 goals. So good work there from Essendon. Peter Wright tucked up in the pocket. Comes in. Good looking kick. He's kicked 2 in the second quarter and Essendon fighting their way back. Definitely been a call from the coach at quarter time to move the ball with pace. Go Dons. Yeah, well, they've done well in the second term. I thought this game was just going to continue to just blow out. So there may be an issue here with Jade Gresham. He's on the bike at the moment. Hopefully he's okay. Back in the middle of the ground. So Sam Durham deep forward at the moment. Definitely an issue with his ankle at the moment. Fought with the tap. Rayner gets the handball away, but Perkins gathered it well. Onto Setterfield, kicking it forward with a bit of chaos. On the bounce, Payne couldn't read it. Right, great gather. Onto Kako. Now to Nick Martin. Blasts it wide. Out on the fall. Oh, you subscribed? I appreciate that, man. Essendon looking a lot better in the second term, though. So Brisbane repel, finds Zach Bailey, defensive side of the wing. He has racked them up for fun in the second quarter. Goes with the kick more central. Finds McCluggage. The kick towards half forward to Fort. Missed his target. Ball gets out the back. Laverde has to be strong. Did well. Held it up there with an Archie tackle. So locked inside the Essendon, the Brisbane forward 50. So Goldstein with the tap. Laverde spun into trouble. Under pressure. Play on, says the umpire. Perkins wrapped up by Hipwood. So are you a Bulldogs fan or are you a Essendon fan? Hipwood pushed Goldstein out of it. Immediately wraps up Setterfield. Ball locked in dispute for the moment. Still 11:49 left in this second term. Tap down from Hipwood. Roberts just broke away. Parted the seas almost. Kicks it wide out towards the wing. Oh, great mark from Wright. Takes it with the one glove. And now blasts it long. Looking towards the one-on-one for Durham. Payne couldn't mark. Did well in the end for a soft drop. And now Fletcher can repel outside the D50. Dangerous looking kick though. Ashcroft has to be strong over it. Gets a free kick. So Levi Ashcroft gets it inside the D50. Just goes to a lateral ball. Hits up his target, Fletcher. Oh, your parents are Essendon fans. Fair enough. Little kick. Nice ball. Finds McCluggage. And away they go here, Brisbane. Ashcroft kicks it towards half forward. Great option in the end. So now Morris wanted to go. Didn't have an option. Just has to go back for the moment. And now Charlie Cameron, a long way from goal. Goes back into the corridor. He finds Fletcher. So they go with a bit of a switch here, Brisbane. To Jack Payne. Still in the centre square. Hits his target. They try a slow approach here, Brisbane, and they work it out well. So Noah Answorth just outside the forward 50. Doesn't kick a lot of goals, so he sets it up to the pocket. And Archie almost took an easy mark. Lohman on the ground. Took too long, and he's taken down, holding the footy. Well done there, Essendon. And it's Peter Wright again. So Peter Wright gets the free kick. He's doing everything this second term. Goes to the high ball up the wing. Dersma, strong hands. So just ticked under 10 minutes to go in this first half. He is looking corridor. Just doesn't have that option though. So just has to go back for the moment. So now Zach Merritt in the D50. He goes back towards that wing position. And it's a free kick going Brisbane's way. So Jared Berry will get the free kick. Had a really good opening term, Jared Berry. Just goes with a short ball. Went about 5 metres. Umpire paid the mark anyway. Zorko. Back inboard to Leicester. He gives it off to Answorth. He can go inside the forward 50. Cut his kick a little bit. And now Logan Morris leads up. Takes it in the strong hands. Little bit too easy there for Brisbane. Essendon just letting too many easy uncontested marks on the lead up. Just give Brisbane ample time to pick the perfect option. And Logan Morris, in a sea of opponents, picked him out perfectly. So Logan Morris, 45-degree angle, about 35 metres out. He comes in. Oh, he's kicked it left. Hard left, and he's snuck it in for a behind. Brisbane yet to kick a goal in this second term. They've wasted a few opportunities. So a free kick going to be going Essendon's way to Zach Merritt, who's racked up a few touches in this second term. He gives off the handball to Dersma. Kicks it towards half forward, towards the one-on-one. Martin, strong hands. Been a little bit quieter so far. Has kicked the goal though. Kicks it back inboard for Redmond. He'll want a wheel from inside the centre square. Blasts it long to the top of the goal square. Who's going to fly out the back? Durham kicks the goal. Little bit hampered by injury, but landed in his lap like a gift. And Essendon have got 3 goals in a row. Peter Wright again involved, went up for the mark, didn't impact on the scoreboard, but in the air, took out the 2 opponents for Brisbane. And then, of course, like I said, Durham out the back, all on his own, kicks an easy goal. I wouldn't say Durham flew. Yeah, he's definitely hampered by that ankle, Sam Durham. But if he can have an impact up forward, kick a few goals, he can give his team a chance. So 17 points the margin at the moment. Brisbane have just left that door ajar after a dominant opening term. So opportunity here for Essendon as they get the clearance. Daywicks has some time. Handball on the back to Clark. Missed his target though. Wasn't great. So Daywicks has to fight for it again. Clark wrapped up by Berry. Ball up. Little bit. Wasn't a great handball there from Daywicks. Had to hit his target. Just missed it. That's okay. They lock it inside their forward half. from the tap down Setterfield. Spills to Berry. Ashcroft looking for the 1-2. Berry had to put it on his boot. Kicked it up the wing on the bounce. Wasn't great. Fighting for a hard there. The debutant was Johnson. Did it well. Setterfield didn't really look. Turned it over. Ashcroft to McCluggage. Neal about to get into his work. Further back to Hipwood. Goes up the wing. Went in hard. There was McGrath. They're fighting hard here, the Bombers. Rayner just broke the tackle too easily there. And now Cameron revving away. Gives over the handball to Lohman. Doesn't have a lot of targets here. So he just dribbles one inside the forward 50. Redmond the fumble. About to be under a lot of pressure from Morris, who slams him into the turf. Ball up. Oh, so your mum is very depressed, I would say, and your dad's very happy, man. I would say up to those two teams, man. So Martin to Clark kicks it out of the D50. Daywix couldn't take it. Wilmot tried to get it over the top. They're locking it in here, Brisbane. Andrews, short kick from Berry to find McCluggage. He plays on, ducks past the tackler, has acres of space to work into, but just misses. Brisbane peppering a bit now. They've missed a lot of chances in this second term. So tried to go on quickly there, Redmond from the kick in, but the umpires told him to bring it back. Yeah, you'd say that. Yeah, I'd agree. So Redmond with a short kick to find Martin. Any further on now to Clark. Goes to the kick up the wing, looking for a flyer. Caddy glides in. Takes a good grab. Such an important role for him tonight. He takes a really good mark. He wants to go inside the forward 50, looking for Wright. Wright can't take the mark. On the ground, Ainsworth was there first. Ashcroft did it well. Zorko, inside kick, missed his target. Essendon again with the pressure. Merritt onto Martin. Went to kick, let go of the footy. Further on the handball to Guelphy. He's held without it. Play on, says the umpire. Now Neal, ducking and weaving, got past his tackler. Further back now to Andrews. They're working under a bit of pressure here, Brisbane, but they work it out to Fletcher. Switches to the kick, and now they're away on the outer side. Archie wants to go into the middle. They got numbers aplenty here, Brisbane. They just have to work it out. Bailey, duck past his Merritt. Inside kick to Rayner from 50. Cam Rayner, eyes for the goal. They got numbers everywhere, and Morris in the pocket. I think Rayner went for goal there, to be honest, but doesn't matter now. Oh, the kick wasn't great. Redmond read it well. Saved a certain goal, and now he can clear outside the D50. Brisbane waste a crucial chance. Kicks it out towards the wing. Clark, he can gather the handball from Martin. Kick up towards the wing. Free kick's going to be called here, and it's going to be going against Caddy to Payne. So Payne goes into the corridor. Centimetre perfect kick to find Neal. Dangerous looking kick. Oh, Pryor drops the sitter. Payne has options. Gives it off. Chance here for Brisbane to make them pay. Just misses there, Zorko. Another behind there for Brisbane. $14 scoring shots to 5. Only a 19-point lead. So now Caldwell goes to the long ball towards the one-on-one and Caddy. Caddy did well with the body, and now he can work it forward if he gathers cleanly. He takes a bounce. He can take a second or blast it long. Top of the goal square. Who's going to fly? One-on-one. Couldn't take the mark with Pryor. Hobbs pushed away from it. Daywix got shut down. Got the handball away just in time. Oh, no, he didn't. Well done there, Berry. Great scrambling defence there from Brisbane. Caddy probably should have just kept on going, if I'm being honest. He had Payne covered. So Brisbane, under a bit of pressure here. Harris Andrews has it. Just goes with a good 20-metre ball to find Zorko. In the centre of their D50. Goes towards the commentary side. Finds Leicester. So now Brisbane can go. Oh, they've got numbers out the back here. Gardner is one of them. He can handle on the inside. Realised it was Fort, so he decided to go himself. Kicks it towards 2-on-2. Top of the goal square. Lohman and Morris run into each other. Wasted a crucial chance as Johnson clears it out for Essendon, but it's only going to be for a moment. Leicester finds Berry. Goes back to Payne on the bounce. Wasn't a great kick. So now Zorko goes with a wide ball, but that's turned over to right. Just seem a bit off at the moment here, Brisbane. He goes with a kick on the inside to Gresham, and his handball misses his target. And Essendon wastes a chance. So Zorko gets the free kick. He goes to Berry. Short little kick on 50. It's a nice ball. He hits up Lockie Neal. Probably too far out to score. He runs past his player on the mark. He goes long in the goal square. Touch through by Laverde. Another behind for Brisbane. Yet to kick a goal in this second term, but they have peppered. They've kicked 6 behinds in this quarter, Brisbane. So now Laverde goes long. Blocked almost was Martin, he was. So Nick Martin will get the free kick. Off they go here, Essendon. Can they get a late goal? Dersma, kick up here to right. He's had a brilliant second term. He can go back to Dersma here. He kept on running. He decides to run away with it, though. Blasted inside the forward 50. Who's going to fly? Guelphy was there. Couldn't take the mark, and it trickles out of bounds inside the forward 50. So 2.5 minutes left in this half. Essendon have done well to stay in touch. Brisbane have peppered a goal in this second term. Brisbane have kicked 6 behinds to Essendon's 3 straight goals. Umpire throws it back into play. Can Essendon get someone to fly at this stoppage? Perkins spun and then turned it over. Neal to Fort. Wasn't a great handball. Did well to tap it onto Berry. McCluggage back to Berry. Maybe Brisbane can get a late goal. He kicks it long towards Archie. Did well there, Laverde. Oh, no, he has given away the free kick. I thought that was pretty good. So Cal Archie will get the free kick. He's got a shorter option just over the top. He decides not to go there. Still got 2 minutes here, Brisbane. He goes right back here to Fletcher. Just trying to pull out the Essendon defence here. Goes to the kick towards the middle of the ground. Finds Wilmot. Ran 50 metres to get on the end of that footy. So now Wilmot just has nothing to go to forward, so he takes a bounce. Running backwards for the moment, eventually sees a lead up. And he finds Leicester, who now goes into the corridor. It's a dangerous kick, puts his teammate under all sorts of pressure. Great work from Laverde. Day Wicks back to Martin, has nothing forward, so he has to run it and do it himself. He eventually finds a target on the lead, and he finds Gresham, who wants to play on here from 50 to get a big goal here for Essendon. Didn't get enough on it. Wasn't a great kick at all. Wasted opportunity. Fletcher takes a relieving mark. He goes short. That went about 5 metres. Umpire tells him to play on, and Payne has an option. Goes with a long kick. Great option and found Berry. With a minute left, can Brisbane get one late? Finds his target in Lohman. He feints the give. Eventually does go to McCluggage, who tries to spin out of trouble. Did it okay. Back to Lohman. Late chance here now for Brisbane. Runs away from his opponent. Into the pocket with a great ball. Finds Morris. They worked it well there, Brisbane. Logan Morris, he's tucked up in the pocket. It's going to be a tough kick. But in the shadows of halftime, can the young mercurial forward find a goal? 24 seconds left. He's going to have to hit this perfectly with the snap. Logan Morris has hit it perfectly. Great finish there from Brisbane. They lead by 25 points. In fact, 26. Great finish there from Logan Morris. That is a great kick. Yeah, that was a pretty good kick for Morris. He had to hit that absolutely perfectly from that distance with that snap, and he did too. This was a bit weak. I don't know if Setterfield hurt himself here, but he just had to keep on going and put pressure on Lohman's kick. Good finish there from Logan Morris. So Brisbane finally get their first goal of the second term. 10 seconds left from the bounce. Terrible bounce by the umpire. Yo, how you doing, Sea Bear Squad? And anyone selling a barbecue? Unfortunately, I'm not him, but I'll let you know if someone in the chat does. From a tap down, Fort, wrapped up by Martin. This should be the halftime scoreline, you would say. Fort with the tap, ball spills. Rayner was worried out of it. And there's your halftime siren. So Brisbane leading by 32 points at the first break. Essendon fought their way back into the contest, but Brisbane, peppered late, eventually found a late goal. And at halftime, Brisbane lead by 26 points. 7-9-51. Lead Essendon 4-1-25. All right, guys, we'll be back in about 20 or so minutes with the second half. G'day guys, welcome back to the channel, and today of course we are here to preview round 12. The first round of buys. Teams out this week are Carlton, North Melbourne, Port Adelaide and the Western Bulldogs, but we still have a lot of games to cover, 7 in total. We'll be covering 4 of the big games, and we'll be starting with the Thursday night contest between Brisbane and Essendon. The Lions coming off a great win last week after being in some pretty poor form, and they are returning to their home ground of course. Before last week though, they were in pretty poor form, the Lions, so it does set up for a pretty interesting contest I think, with Essendon having some good wins in the past, but obviously beating some very lower sides. So looking at it, I think honestly we should all be looking at a comfortable win for Brisbane. I think that's fair to say. However, like I said, before their game against Hawthorn, Brisbane really dropped off the pace. They had a pretty poor game against North Melbourne, got a draw out of it, and the game after that, they lost. With an out-of-form team like Brisbane, Essendon would have a bit of a chance. So if they didn't beat Hawthorn last week, I would actually give Essendon a serious opportunity here because they don't have the worst record at the Gabba. However, in saying that, and on that side of things as well, I think the Bombers do have some match winners. Of course, Zach Merritt been there for years, been doing it for years, and Nick Martin is in All-Australian form, best form of his career. So if those two can get firing, maybe Essendon can find a way to go. However, with the loss of Kyle Langford over the week, I think they're going to be really too reliant on Nate Caddy. So maybe if players like Wright, Kako, Gresham, their forward line can fire and maybe their midfielders can bank in a couple of goals, maybe Essendon could cause an upset. However, I can't go past Brisbane here. I think that the Lions finally got back into a bit of form last week, and I have been so heavy on the Brisbane train so far this year. I'm the one who called it last week. I should have tipped them. I said that this wasn't going to be as straightforward as a lot of people were saying, that Hawthorn were just going to go out and win because it was at the MCG. I thought Brisbane had a bit of a sneaky chance, and Hawthorn's record kind of lied a little. So I should have gone with Brisbane. I should have put my neck out and picked the Lions. However, looking at it right now, I'm going to be going Brisbane here at home. They don't lose 2 in a row. That was a very poor game against Melbourne a few weeks ago. They go back and they win this game pretty comfortably, I would say. And my brother has also tipped the Lions as well. He said that they got it back into form last week. Their forward line is firing at all cylinders, and it's at the Gabba. The Lions don't lose 2 games in a row there, which, I mean, I think is pretty obvious. But let's move to the next game. This is probably the match of the round. Collingwood up against Hawthorn. Friday night, MCG, 90,000 plus you would be expecting. Collingwood coming off a less than convincing win against North Melbourne, while Hawthorn were found out last week against the Brisbane Lions, like we mentioned just previously. Now, I think this sets up for a very interesting contest, as Hawthorn have a really good record against Collingwood at the MCG in more recent times. We obviously remember last year when Hawthorn absolutely flogged Collingwood in the wet, and I mean that was obviously a long time ago now, thinking about it, when Collingwood are in premiership contention right now, while Hawthorn sitting around that 4 to 8 mark at this stage. Like I said last week though, Hawthorn's record did kind of lie. They beat a couple of teams up that were down to the lower end of the ladder, and their form against top 8 teams this year hasn't been great at all. Now, I think that they have to do something about James Sicily. He is horribly out of form, and they're going up against one of the best teams in the competition. As the captain, he needs to stand up this week. I think it's pretty obvious to say. He needs to stand up in a big way. Maybe they chuck him forward to give him an opportunity. But other than that, I don't know how James Sicily finds his form. I don't think you chuck your captain back in the VFL for form. I think that's not a good idea. I think that would ruin his confidence. And I don't think that's really good for the team as a whole. It's like, why would we want to be led by this guy who can't even make the best 23? So I think he needs to find his form in another way in the team. Maybe it's even chuck him on a wing. I don't know. I don't know how good his tank is, but right now James Sicily's form is very, very poor. And I think Collingwood will definitely look to exploit that if James Sicily is down in defence. On the other side of it though, Collingwood have lost a few players on injury the last few weeks. You ever saw Braden Maynard go out very early against North Melbourne with a plantar fascia. Now they've got a couple of other players out from last week, which should return against Hawthorn. You've got Pendlebury, Sidebottom, Bobby Hill as well, and a couple of others with likely return, maybe even Lockie Schultz. The only thing that you can bank your hat on for Hawthorn fans is the fact that they have a very good record against Collingwood at the MCG. And I also think Hawthorn will respond, because I think the last few weeks they were being found out a little bit, and Brisbane really brought that to the fore. Maybe a couple of cracks were being sealed up on Hawthorn's side while they were winning. Maybe a loss will make them investigate those cracks a little bit more. But in saying all of that, I think Collingwood will win. I think it's a safe bet. Collingwood are going to win this one. Despite the record that Hawthorn have against Collingwood, the Pies are just in too good a form right now, and I can't pick against them. I don't think I've picked against them much at all this year, and I think they'll go on and win this one. Now, my brother has said get pretty similar reasoning to me. Coming up against another top four team, Hawthorn really don't compete that well against them. They haven't played well against any of the top 8 teams so far this year, and Collingwood have a lot of injuries, so there is a bit of a chance for the Hawks. However, on the recent form, you can't pick them, and that's kind of what I said as well. After that, we get to Saturday afternoon's game. Very intriguing contest between the Gold Coast Suns and Fremantle. This is up at the Gold Coast. The Suns finally going back home, but Fremantle coming off 2 very important wins. GWS, I think it was their first time they ever won at NG Stadium, and then Port Adelaide last week in tough conditions. So Fremantle may be back, you may want to say. I don't know about that. I don't want to go that. If they can beat the Gold Coast up there, I'll put my confidence in the Dockers. But first of all, Alex Pearce is out at this stage. I'm recording this on Monday. He is out off suspension for 3 weeks after a pretty dubious decision. I think that Alex Pearce was going the ball, but unfortunately he collected Darcy Byrne-Jones and he was concussed. And of course we go out on outcome less than the actual action itself, which I think is not very great. I think we should go on action. But nonetheless, he's out for 3 weeks at this moment. Him being out is going to be such a massive loss for Fremantle, with the Gold Coast having Ben King, Jed Walter up there. He just sets them up so well. So it's going to be really, really tough for Freo. Now, I think overall, the big problem here for Fremantle as well is it's one of the biggest trips in footy. This is up in the Gold Coast. For one, the Gold Coast barely lose up there. And Fremantle won a game against the Giants a couple of weeks ago, but they haven't been really good away from home either. So with the longest trip, going from a really tough wet weather game, a real grind, to going up in the warm conditions of the Gold Coast, it's going to be tough for Freo. Now, I think the Dockers can get them in the midfield if they can win. If they can win that battle and get it inside 50 enough, maybe Fremantle can find the likes of Bolton, Dudley, Frederick to maybe spark them. But they do need players like Tracy and Amos to stand up here as well. If Tracy and Amos don't combine for maybe 6 or 7 goals, I can't see them Fremantle winning this game. Because the last few weeks, they haven't been at their best. Josh Tracy is a bit out of form, and Jai Amos is a lot further out of form. So if those two can't fire this week, I can't see Fremantle winning, and I think the Gold Coast have one of the best defences in the competition. So with all that combined, I'm picking the Suns at home. I think their defence can stand up against Fremantle. I think the Gold Coast Suns midfield is very, very strong and seem to have got back into form after a little bit of a slump about a month or so ago. And in their forward line, without Alex Pearce, I think the Gold Coast can kick a winning score. So all that, I think the Gold Coast can win this one pretty comfortably, I would say. Looking at my brother, he set up on the Gold Coast. No Alex Pearce really hurts them. I can't trust the Dockers yet, been up and down all year. And then the final game we're going to take a little bit more of a deep dive into is the Swans up against the Crows. Sydney been one of the most inconsistent teams so far this year. The last 5 games, they've gone loss, win, loss, win, loss. And the Crows have been really good to beat up on teams below them. Have struggled a little bit against teams around their mark in that top 4 position. But right now, the Crows sitting around that top 4 mark. They're sitting in a very good position. They don't have a very good record against the Swans in the SCG, so it's going to be tough for the Swans. However, in saying that, the Swans had one of the worst performances of the year, especially their midfielders. They got absolutely smashed from the Melbourne midfield, so I'm looking for a response from the Swans mids. Now, I'm going to go a bit more into the Swans here. The Sydney can't persist with going with Joel Hamling up forward. He has no forward knowledge whatsoever. Every single time the ball goes near him, he is too busy looking for his defender than going the football. And as a forward, I understand the role he's trying to play, trying to negate the intercept marking of the defender, but he has to go the football. The best way to put a key defender under pressure is to kick goals. And Joel Hamling has no forward nous. He doesn't go for the football. And I don't know why they played him up in the VFL and kicked 30 goals in the VFL last year. You would think he would have some sort of forward nous, but every single time the ball goes near him, he's too busy looking for his defender to go the ball. There was a game, I think it was against Essendon a couple of weeks ago. He had an opportunity to turn onto his right and kick a goal. He handballed it and they missed the goal. Last week against Melbourne, he had an opportunity to turn and kick a goal. He gave it off to Cal Mills. Luckily he finished, but he just did not look at the goal face. He's not looking at the forward 50 at all. And I can't deal with this anymore. He can't play up forward. If you're going to play him in defence and try even Nick Blakey up forward if you're gonna. But I don't think Sydney need to continue to move these magnets around. Dean Cox needs to stop and just needs to play a consistent team right now. He's playing James Jordan as a tagger half the time. Then he's roaming around the field, has no opponent whatsoever. He's swapped Tom McCartan forward and now he's back, and he was struggling for the first couple of weeks. Now he seems to be in really good form though. Sydney need to stop moving around these magnets. If they're not good in the position that you put them, then they're probably not best for the team. But like Dean Cox said throughout the week, it's not just injuries, it is consistency, and the Swans are off the pace at the moment. Now, before we get to the tips, I just want to take a look at a couple of important matchups. First of all, James Jordan goes to Jordan Dawson. Absolute must if the Swans are going to win this game. Jordan, at the very least, has to go to him at the stoppage, and then if Dawson drifts forward, which he has done this year, Rampy, I think, takes him. But nonetheless, if Jordan Dawson is in the midfield at any stage throughout that game, James Jordan needs to stand on his hip the whole game. Push him into stoppage, whatever you have to do. He can't get onto his left boot because he has been, by far, I think, the best player so far this year, in my opinion. He is the most important player in the competition for any team, in my opinion. Now, James Peatling, I think he probably lines up with Chad Warner at stoppage at this stage. I think Heaney will be a little bit too strong for him, but I think that we'll probably see a Saligo probably line up with Heaney. If he's going to play some sort of negating role, I think he goes to Chad Warner. But I think what Sydney have been doing this year when that has happened is one of those, Heaney or Warner will go forward, which probably gives it a bit of an advantage to the Swans. But in saying that, the Crows have a pretty good defence with Worrell and that line up pretty nicely in Michaelani. And finally, McCartan, I think he's probably been the best defender over the last few weeks for the Swans. He was one of their best players last week in a pretty dismal side. So I think he gets the role on Riley Thilthorpe, which is going to be a very tough battle for him, but I think that McCartan can do it. With all that being said, all that bagging of Sydney, I'm going to be going the Swans. I'm going to have a bit of faith in my boys. I'm going to say this on the fact that the Swans have a really good record against the Crows at the SCG, and I think the Swans have to respond. I think they were absolutely smashed in the midfield over the weekend, and I think that Dean Cox calling out his midfield in the presser will get his team up and about. The Swans probably will lose a few players, especially Cal Mills. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't get weeks for what he just did. I think they get back Justin McInerney this week, which will help. But I think the Swans can win this game on a response sort of performance. If they can get Warner and Heaney up and about and they find a forward to kick goals, I think they can win this game. It's going to be tough. It's definitely an outside pick, but I'm going to be going Sydney. But my brother's going with a safe bet. He has no faith in the Swans. He has picked the Crows. He has said that the Swans do have a chance if they can tag Jordan Dawson, and they do have some injured players to come back in, but he trusts the Crows forward line way more than the Swans defence, and he thinks the Crows kick a winning score. They'll be too potent up forward, which, I mean, I can't really argue with, can I? But with that being said, let's get to the tips, full tips for round 12. Of course, with the buys coming up, we have only 7 games to take a look at, so the tips for round 12, mine are Brisbane to beat Essendon, Collingwood to beat Hawthorn, Gold Coast to beat Fremantle, GWS to beat Richmond, the Swans to beat the Crows, Melbourne to beat St Kilda, and Geelong to beat the West Coast Eagles. And my brother's full tips for round 12 are the Lions to beat Essendon, Collingwood to beat Hawthorn, Gold Coast to beat Fremantle, GWS to beat Richmond, Adelaide to beat the Swans, Melbourne to beat St Kilda, and the Cats to beat the West Coast Eagles. So getting to our certainty tips now, my brother got first pick this week. Now, because he hasn't picked a team that lost last week, he has gone with the lowest ranked team on the ladder who he's picked to win this week. So he has gone with Melbourne to beat St Kilda as his certainty tip. And I have to go with the Swans to beat the Crows. Of course, the Swans losing to Melbourne last week. So finally, let's take a look at the tipping ladder, of course. And there was a bit of a breakout this week with a couple of players getting 9. First of all, I can see here Paul's Vikings did get 9 tips. The full card, well done to him. Really good performance. Probably, I don't know if he has used his Joker yet, but if he did, he would have been right up amongst the ranks. Leviticus is sitting 6 tips in front. Now, he has used his Joker, but he's sitting in a very good spot right now. Sitting 6 tips above the boy from SNB who has used his Joker as well. Mateus and Ethan Sports are sitting in 3rd and 4th at this stage, and the AFL Hawk God, I think that's the full name, the finishing of the top 5. I'm sitting in 14th spot. I got 7 tips. I was a bit happy with that because I had a bit of a drop-off at the start of the round because I picked the Bulldogs, but I'm pretty happy that I got 7 in the end. I'm sitting around middle table in 14th. My brother is sitting in 18th spot with 1 tip behind me, and he has used his Joker. So I'm in front of him, yet to use the Joker. Won't be using it over the bye rounds. I'll probably wait until... probably just after it, I'll probably be looking to use my Joker at that stage. I am, 13 tips off the page. So if I can get a 7 in a joke around, I could potentially take over. But at this stage, I'm sitting in probably not the greatest spot. I need to get a couple of roughies. Kind of the big reason why I'm picking the Swans this week is I do need to pick a bit of a roughie here. I've been a little bit safe so far this year, not going for a real outsider, which is why I should have gone Brisbane last week. But that's pretty much all we've got for the tips this week, guys. Make sure to let me know down below if you can think there'll be an upset this week, if your team's going to win. If your team has the bye, make sure to let me know. That's all from me, so we'll catch us all next time. G'day guys, welcome back to the channel, and today of course we are here to preview round 12. The first round of byes. Teams out this week are Carlton, North Melbourne, Port Adelaide and the Western Bulldogs, but we still have a lot of games to cover, 7 in total. We'll be covering 4 of the big games, and we'll be starting with the Thursday night contest between Brisbane and Essendon. The Lions coming off a great win last week after being in some pretty poor form, and they are returning to their home ground of course. Before last week though, they were in pretty poor form, the Lions, so it does set up for a pretty interesting contest I think, with Essendon having some good wins in the past, but obviously beating some very lower sides. So looking at it, I think honestly we should all be looking at a comfortable win for Brisbane. I think that's fair to say. However, like I said, before their game against Hawthorn, Brisbane really dropped off the pace. They had a pretty poor game against North Melbourne, got a draw out of it, and the game after that, they lost. With an out-of-form team like Brisbane, Essendon would have a bit of a chance. So if they didn't beat Hawthorn last week, I would actually give Essendon a serious opportunity here because they don't have the worst record at the Gabba. However, in saying that, and on that side of things as well, I think the Bombers do have some match winners. Of course, Zach Merritt been there for years, been doing it for years, and Nick Martin is in All-Australian form, best form of his career. So if those two can get firing, maybe Essendon can find a way to go. However, with the loss of Kyle Langford over the week, I think they're going to be really too reliant on Nate Caddy. So maybe if players like Wright, Kako, Gresham, their forward line can fire, and maybe their midfielders can bank in a couple of goals, maybe Essendon could cause an upset. However, I can't go past Brisbane here. I think that the Lions finally got back into a bit of form last week, and I have been so heavy on the Brisbane train so far this year. I'm the one who called it last week. I should have tipped them. I said that this wasn't going to be as straightforward as a lot of people were saying, that Hawthorn were just going to go out and win because it was at the MCG. I thought Brisbane had a bit of a sneaky chance, and Hawthorn's record kind of lied a little. So I should have gone with Brisbane. I should have put my neck out and picked the Lions. However, looking at it right now, I'm going to be going Brisbane here at home. They don't lose 2 in a row. That was a very poor game against Melbourne a few weeks ago. They go back and they win this game pretty comfortably, I would say. Now, my brother has also tipped the Lions as well. He said that they got it back into form last week. Their forward line is firing at all cylinders, and it's at the Gabba. The Lions don't lose 2 games in a row there, which, I mean, I think is pretty obvious. But let's move to the next game. This is probably the match of the round. Collingwood up against Hawthorn. Friday night, MCG, 90,000 plus you would be expecting. Collingwood coming off a less than convincing win against North Melbourne, while Hawthorn were found out last week against the Brisbane Lions, like we mentioned just previously. Now, I think this sets up for a very interesting contest, as Hawthorn have a really good record against Collingwood at the MCG in more recent times. We obviously remember last year when Hawthorn absolutely flogged Collingwood in the wet, and I mean that was obviously a long time ago now, thinking about it, when Collingwood are in premiership contention right now, while Hawthorn sitting around that 4 to 8 mark at this stage. Like I said last week though, Hawthorn's record did kind of lie. They beat a couple of teams up that were down the lower end of the ladder, and their form against top 8 teams this year hasn't been great at all. Now, I think that they have to do something about James Sicily. He is horribly out of form, and they're going up against one of the best teams in the competition. As the captain, he needs to stand up this week. I think it's pretty obvious to say. He needs to stand up in a big way. Maybe they chuck him forward to give him an opportunity. But other than that, I don't know how James Sicily finds his form. I don't think you chuck your captain back in the VFL for form. I think that's not a good idea. I think that would ruin his confidence. And I don't think that's really good for the team as a whole. It's like, why would we want to be led by this guy who can't even make the best 23? So I think he needs to find his form in another way in the team. Maybe it's even chuck him on a wing. I don't know. I don't know how good his tank is, but right now James Sicily's form is very, very poor. And I think Collingwood will definitely look to exploit that if James Sicily is down in defence. On the other side of it though, Collingwood have lost a few players on injury the last few weeks. You saw Braden Maynard go out very early against North Melbourne with a plantar fascia. Now they've got a couple of other players out from last week, which should return against Hawthorn. You've got Pendlebury, Sidebottom, Bobby Hill as well, and a couple of others with likely return, maybe even Lockie Schultz. The only thing that you can bank your hat on for Hawthorn fans is the fact that they have a very good record against Collingwood at the MCG. And I also think Hawthorn will respond, because I think the last few weeks they were being found out a little bit, and Brisbane really brought that to the fore. Maybe a couple of cracks were being sealed up on Hawthorn's side while they were winning. Maybe a loss will make them investigate those cracks a little bit more. But in saying all of that, I think Collingwood will win. I think it's a safe bet. Collingwood are going to win this one. Despite the record that Hawthorn have against Collingwood, the Pies are just in too good a form right now, and I can't pick against them. I don't think I've picked against them much at all this year, and I think they'll go on and win this one. Now, my brother has said a pretty similar reasoning to me. Coming up against another top 4 team, Hawthorn really don't compete that well against them. They haven't played well against any of the top 8 teams so far this year, and Collingwood have a lot of injuries. So there is a bit of a chance for the Hawks. However, on the recent form, you can't pick them, and that's kind of what I said as well. After that, we get to Saturday afternoon's game. Very intriguing contest between the Gold Coast Suns and Fremantle. This is up at the Gold Coast. The Suns finally going back home. Alrighty, guys, we're going to be back here with the second half. Players are starting to move back into position, of course. Essendon were a lot better in that third term, but didn't really catch... second term, sorry, but didn't really catch back too much. How you doing, Dogs fan? You're back? So here we go. Second half about to get underway. I have to go to sleep at 9:05. That's a weird specific time, but anyway. So now Laverde, we get the first clearance here for Essendon. Gets it out wide. Good looking kick. Hits up Roberts. Oh, you have to go to bed soon. Oh, it sucks, man. So Roberts, short little kick on the up to Caldwell. He'll kick it inside the forward 50. Looking for Caddy. Got it! Growing, coming of age every single week. Nate Caddy. That was a great grab. Chuck a wheelie. How you doing, man? Didn't really get the full leap there, Nate Caddy, but it was still a strong grab. I answered you, man. I can't answer you anymore. So Nate Caddy only had a few touches tonight, but has had a lot of impact. And he comes in and kicks his first goal. So Essendon, great start to the second half. So a good finish there from Nate Caddy. It's all forwards have done pretty well tonight, Essendon. Just need a couple more to go with them. Did well there, Caldwell, to turn and go quickly. So back with the tap. McCluggage couldn't gather it. Goldstein spun a 360. Lohman, Dunkley did it well. McCluggage. High up and under ball towards the 50. Standing underneath it was Laverde. Held strong in the air. And he wants to go. Gives it off to Martin. Run and gun. This is how Essendon want to go in this second half. They work it out nicely. Give it off to Johnson. He can work it over the top to Kako. It's a dangerous handball. Held without it though. Got a bit lucky there, Isaac Kako. Leicester tried to knock him down, but let go of the footy. They can get this. If they can get 2 in a row pretty quick here, Essendon, they're right back in it. Kako ran one way, then another. Now blasted into the pocket. Looking for Caddy again. Andrews brought it down. Berry held up. In trouble. And he got very lucky there from the umpire. So locked inside the Essendon forward 50. Can they get a Kako on the move? Goldstein with the tap. Gets past him. Caldwell, quick snap and quick goal! Here come Essendon. Jai Caldwell set up the first goal of the second half. Now gets one himself. They're right back in it here, Essendon. After conceding 6 of the first 7 goals, they've kicked 6 of the next 7 themselves. Great stoppage goal there for the Bombers. They have lifted the Bombers. Oh, they kicked 5 of the last 6. What am I talking about? I'm an idiot. So 14 points the difference. So Fort went up very early, missed the footy, bounced straight back down. Setterfield couldn't grab it cleanly. Now Neal, further back, turned it over. Kako takes the contact. Ball up. So Brisbane under a bit of pressure here. So Goldstein with the tap. Martin slapping it forward. Rayner takes the contact. He's gone here. Well done there, Roberts. Should have been rewarded. He was. Arguably in rising star form, this kid. Only played a few games last year. Played a pivotal role off the half-back line this year. I won't be able to stream tomorrow night, unfortunately, man. Well, moments ago, they were 25 points down. 26, in fact. If Archie Roberts kicks truly here, they'll be within 8. He blasts it long. It's coming back. Can't get it there. Ford on the line. Fisted it through. Just didn't get the distance on that kick there, Archie Roberts. So short kick from Zorko finds Payne in the back pocket. So just slowing down a bit here, Brisbane. So Payne goes up the wing, looking for Fort, maybe Lohman. Well, they spoil each other. Goldstein on the inside to Caldwell. Turned it over, though. Berry was hot on it. Sending the ball forward on the lead up. Couldn't take the mark. Was Hipwood wrapped up by Laverde. Ball up. Hipwood needs to get himself into this game. He's been very, very quiet. So Goldstein with the tap. Caldwell, he's lifted. Merritt, underground handball. They work it well here, Essendon. Hobbs off to Caldwell. He goes on the outside. He finds Roberts. Huge amount of space here on the commentary side wing. He jams it inside the 50. Wasn't a great looking ball. Leicester couldn't cover it. Caddy trying to soccer it off the ground to his own advantage. Andrews, handball off to Berry. Still under pressure here, Brisbane. Kako on the up to Setterfield. Now Hobbs off to Nick Martin. He's been so good. He goes into the pocket. Great work. Could have gone himself, Nick Martin. Decided to find Gresham in the pocket. And this to be back within 7 points. So Jade Gresham. Tucked up in the pocket. Shouldn't have too many issues. He is on his left boot. He comes around the body. And he just didn't look confident on it at all. $12 points the difference. Essendon missing a few opportunities. So Zorko just goes back into that pocket once again. This time Fletcher. He blasts it up the wing. 2-on-1 in Brisbane's favour. One of them is Fort. Couldn't win it in the air. At the back though, they have numbers. He puts handball. Wasn't great to Berry. Under a lot of pressure. Neal just seen it. Out of bounds. Under so much pressure here, Brisbane, early in this second half. So both Ashcroft brothers trying to make their way back onto the ground. At the moment, they can't do so. In fact, Will has just made his way on. Goldstein with the tap. Neal almost held without it. Somehow got the footy. Shoveled it out to Ashcroft. Now McCluggage. Breaks past the tackler. Low ball inside the forward 50 for Lohman. Couldn't get there. Rayner socketed it off the ground. Got it smothered. Pryor. Handballed well. Perkins. Now Merritt. Did it well there, Essendon. And he finds his target. It's half back. Which is, I think it's Nick Martin. He cuts the kick back inside to Roberts, who's racking them up in this third term. He's had 20 touches. This will be his 20th touch. Short ball to Martin. He's looking straight through the corridor. Doesn't really have much of a target. So he has to go towards the wing for McGrath. Up against Bailey. Couldn't win it, but on the ground is Pryor. He goes with the kick out wide. Good looking ball. Hits his target. Just has to hold up Gresham for the moment. But now he can blast it long. Can Caddy get onto a bit of a fly? Maybe right. Maybe Caddy! He plays on as well. Oh, he's mucked up everything there, Nate Caddy. That is one of the worst misses you'll see. He just couldn't balance himself after the mark there, Nate Caddy, and he's messed it up. 3 big misses there for Essendon. They could have the lead at the moment. So now Ainsworth Goes to the long kick towards a one-on-one. Morrison, Laverde. It gets at the back. Laverde should get there first. He did well. Handball was too hot for McGrath. Roberts has to take the contact. He did it well in the end. Ball up. Brad Scott sees the humour involved in that. So just outside the forward 50 here for Brisbane. Just seems like they need a nerve settler. So Goldstein with the tap. Martin couldn't take it. McCluggage ran into traffic, worked his way out of it. Handball turned it over though to Martin. Further back here to Redmond. Doesn't have a lot of targets here, Redmond. Somehow finds something finds the needle in the middle of the haystack, but couldn't find the kick to Clark. Eventually just trickles out of bounds off of Fletcher. So Essendon making this a real contest now in the third. 13:41 still left in this third quarter. Essendon have kicked the only 2 goals of it. Could have been a lot more as well. They've kicked 3 behinds, 3 gettable opportunities. So Goldstein held in the ruck. Umpire says play on. Found his handball target. Clark did it well. On the up now, Perkins to Caldwell. Got hit hard by Dunkley. Got a free kick as well. Jai Caldwell being best on the ground in this third quarter. Kicked a brilliant goal just about 5 minutes ago. So they want to switch the play here, Essendon. Laverde has a few options on this outer side. He's looking for Roberts, who's spread brilliantly. Gives the handball off now to McGrath. Run and gun. That's the Bombers' play. Missed the handball, but Kako can get out the back. He does well. Chance here for Kako inside the forward 50. Blasts it long. Ford gets back. Couldn't take the mark. Gresham. He ducks. He handballs. Right to Martin. He's their best player at the moment. He's kicked another one. They're right back in at Essendon. Nick Martin's got 2. You couldn't have seen this coming in the first term. Essendon were absolutely dominated, and right now they're only 5 points from the lead. Archie Roberts having an absolute blinder of a game, but Nick Martin reaping the rewards. 23 touches, 2 goals now. Whoever's on Archie Roberts needs to watch him like a hawk. He is dominating off the half-back line. This had to be a free kick to Levi Ashcroft, by the way. So 5 points to the margin. Nick Martin kicks his second goal. From the middle of the ground, McCluggage trying to make a change. Dunkley, clearance towards centre-half forward on the bounce. Archie couldn't read it. Now Pryor, up and down, did well. Handball wasn't great. Perkins somehow found it to Martin. An up and under sort of kick. Roberts again, he's been brilliant. Clark, on with the handball. He finds his target. Now Essendon can go. Day Wicks' kick wasn't great. Hobbs tracking it down up against Wilmot. Fighting hard is Payne. Handballed it away. Who can get there first? McCluggage did it well. He's always been cool and calm in those sort of situations. And now Brisbane can go off half-back. Fletcher, kick short was nice. Hit up Lohman. They can go here, Brisbane. They need one to reply. Wasn't a great kick at all. Put his teammate under all sorts of pressure. Rayner did it well, though. Made it look okay. Gardner's handball taken. And now Wright smacked it out of bounds deliberately. Had to be. How you doing, Footy Vision? So it's a free kick here to Will Ashcroft. He's just outside the forward 50. He's going to set it up. Top of the goal square. Archie comes up with a run up. Nate Caddy, great grab. Worked his way back into the D50. Took a good relieving mark. Long kick. Goldstein up against Fletcher. Fletcher bodied him well. He ducks around him. Breaks the angles of Goldstein. Kept his body up. Did well. Levi Ashcroft back to Will. He sends it inside the forward 50. Caddy is there. He almost dragged it down again. Now with the soft drop though for McCluggage. For the quick reply. He hooks it across the face. And Gardner just couldn't take the mark. Touched out of bounds. .5 points the margin. Brisbane have it inside their forward 50. They need a goal. just to slow the momentum of Essendon. They have been really good in this second half so far. From the tap down, Fort. Quick tap towards Dunkley. Couldn't get it out. Now Merritt, wrapped up by Lohman. Ball trickles out now for Martin. Clearing it outside the E50. Smacked down there by Daywicks. It gets out the back. Durham fighting hard. Up against Andrews. Durham was there. Ainsworth knocked it out. Daywicks knocked his opponent to the turf. Wright did well. Kako. Daywicks on the inside. It's a dangerous kick, but Perkins couldn't take the mark. McCluggage did it well. Ainsworth just got away from the tackler. Blasted inside the forward 50. Gardner, strong grab. Did really well there, Darcy Gardner. Just got out the back of his opponent there, Redmond, who just overcommitted, and little nudge in the back did enough. Redmond just angry at himself that he just gave that up. And a chance here for a settler here for Brisbane. So Darcy Gardner comes in. Good looking kick. That's what Brisbane needed. So Brisbane get one back. They needed that one 15 minutes into the term. Kicked 4 goals a couple of weeks ago, Darcy Gardner. Been around the mark today, just yet to trouble the scorers until now. So back in the middle of the ground. Can Essendon keep on coming back, or will Brisbane use that to keep on pushing the other way? From the stoppage, Caldwell. Shut down was Johnson. Just a little bit too slow, the debutant. Archie handball to Hipwood. Almost got taken down. Ball in dispute. Essendon again do well to get away. Now Pryor. Kick up the wing onto Kako on the bounce. Did well, Wilmot, just to slow him down. Ball up. Johnson just wasn't ready for the shutdown tackle of Charlie Cameron coming from behind. Just trying to settle himself to the pace of AFL footy. Ashcroft on the tackle. Now Setterfield clearing ball forward. On the bounce, Leicester gets there first and sees it out of bounds. A bit of push and shove from both teams. Seems all good. Centre wing on the outer side. The ball goes out. 9:43 left in this third term. Essendon making their charge before Brisbane's kicking the last goal. Right with the tap, Ashcroft. This is Will. Got the handball away just in time. Neal's trying to break away, but Merritt shut him down. Did it well. Setterfield just turned it immediately back over, though, to McCluggage. Inside the forward 50. Good use. And Logan Morris takes the mark. Well, he kicked a big-time goal late in the second term from a similar distance, probably a little bit closer in, so he can't snap this one. Looks like he's setting up for the straight set shot. So Logan Morris, tough angle, little kick from 50. He comes in, it's a good looking kick. I think he's just kicked it wide. So a long kick here from Essendon out towards the wing. They don't win it out though. It's tumbling ball inside the 450 back for Brisbane. Can't win the mark. McGrath, Roberts, so it's almost a throw. Laverde somehow got it out of there. Pryor, McGrath, they do it well here, Essendon. The kick wasn't great. Didn't get off the ground. Berry taken away from him, but he wins the free. So Brisbane's starting to win the important contest over the last 2 or so minutes. So Barry setting it up into the pocket. Looking for Morris. Looking for Rayner. Couldn't win the mark. Down on the ground is Archie. Couldn't win it. Setterfield. McGrath. They work it out here, Essendon well. And they find Johnson in his first game. Kicking towards Daywicks couldn't win the mark. Now Wilmot wrapped up the 244s in the contest, and it's a ball up. Brisbane winning a lot of important contests over the last few moments, leading it by 12 points. Tap down from Fort. Perkins tried to shovel it out. Caldwell right, and now Setterfield. Clearing ball up towards the winger. Caddy got pushed out of it. Payne beaten. And now at the back is Gresham. Tries to take it cleanly. Has nothing forward, so has to backtrack. Kicks it into the corridor. It's a dangerous looking kick. Caldwell can't win it. Answorth fighting hard. Right. Bounces away from him. Handball from McCluggage. Almost turned it over. Answorth dropped that. And he's gone. Great work from Essendon. So Caldwell having a big third term. So it goes with the switch once again here, Essendon. They're loving doing this in the third quarter. Johnson just couldn't win it. No, he did. So now Johnson goes into the pocket. Great looking ball. Hobbs, did he mark that? I don't know if he did, but the umpires paid it. Johnson looking a little bit bemused at the moment. Just got a little smack to the face there. That's a good kick there from the debutant to find his target. Ben Hobbs had a good first half. Hasn't seen it much in this third quarter, though. It's a very tough kick. He's looking around a little here, Ben Hobbs. He's going to set it up. Low ball towards the top of the goal square and found himself on his own centre field. Great kick there from Hobbs. Was looking inside for a long time and eventually found his target. So Will Setterfield, a chance here to get Essendon back within a kick. Been pretty good today. Will Setterfield, 7 tackles. Always been good at that. 15 touches so far. 16th will probably be his most important of the game so far. Pretty much straight in front, 25 metres out. Will Setterfield comes in, kicks truly. Back to a 1-goal margin. So back in the middle of the ground, Essendon continue to charge. From the middle of the ground, the Bombers will get the clearance again through this man. Archie Roberts sends it long. Caddy is there, gets out the back. Can Gresham get there in time? He does. Dribbling ball towards the top of the goal square. Caddy over the top of the pole. He's kicked it! Nate Caddy has kicked it over his shoulder and Essendon a level. Scores are level. Almost speechless, I would say. That was brilliant from the kid and Caddy. He's hit that really well there, Nate Caddy. You don't see that very often. Over the shoulder, the kick was brilliant. He's had some moments tonight, Nate Caddy. That one was the biggest. Scores are all square at the Gabba. From the tap down, Caldwell, handball at the back to Goldstein. Wrapped up, got the handball away just in time. Free kick will go Goldstein's way. So now, Goldstein, low ball towards centre half forward. Couldn't take the mark in the air was Hobbs. Rayner, back to help the defence for the moment. Fletcher, wide looking ball, looking for Ashcroft. He gets the nice bounce. Kick with a short is nice. Hit up Lohman. He goes back to Levi Ashcroft. Goes with a short kick to his brother and Will. Almost 50. Umpire says it's okay. So Ashcroft goes on the inside. Sorko, dangerous kick under all sorts of pressure. Essendon again hot on pressure. Caddy up to Daywicks, locked up, got a handle away. Wilmot did well, caused a turnover. Ashcroft, Dunkley, off to Lockie Neal. They need their veterans to shine, and it's a great looking kick. Well done there, Lohman, just to get a little bit of space. It's a good kick from Lockie Neal. That's a great kick there from Neal. So Kai Lohman basically started everything in the grand final last year. Ended up with 4 goals. Big chance here to get his team a meaningful lead heading towards three-quarter time. Give themselves somewhat to back themselves up going into the last change. That's a good finish. Kai Lohman's got 2. Well, they desperately needed that. They're the Lions. So we're back in the middle of the ground. Fort with a tap. Neal slapped it towards Dunkley and he gets it back now. So Neal coming into this game in the last few minutes. Ball forward, gets at the back. Johnson gets there first. Got hit high. Hipwood did well. Got the handle away. Laverde further back. Back to Laverde. Clark has to worry out of it. Did well there, Caldwell. Ball forward with the kick. It's a nice looking ball. Did well in the air. It's going to go a free kick here to Guelphy. So Charlie Cameron down behind the ball. I think he got a big hit to the... He hit his head on the ground, so not really great. He is okay. He's got back up. Seems fine. So now Essendon going with a big switch. Laverde goes with a wide ball to Pry. He's got the runner in his captain. Merritt. Handball over the top to Redmond. Goes with a short kick over the top. They've got the overlap here, Essendon. Now Dersma. He decides to blast it long. Where's Nate Caddy? He goes for right instead. Couldn't take it. Fighting hard underground was Durham. Gresham fished it out to Kako. About to get into his move. Did well. Handball out the back. Gresham. Think it's gone out. It has. Bit of rain coming down now at the Gabba. That will definitely bring something new to the game. Bit of whiplash there from Charlie Cameron as he went to the ground trying to cause a turnover just moments ago. Seems okay. Goldstein with the tap. Berry got it away. Ainsworth. Good tackle there on Dersma. Had to hit it and he did. How you doing, Lot? What are you up to today? Watching the Essendon game, of course, I would imagine. So now Andrews wants to go on the commentary side. It's a wide kick. Did well in the air was Archie. Broke past the tackler. Kick looking short to Ashcroft. He got beaten though. Peter Wright did it well. Inside the forward 50, not a great kick. And Payne takes the mark. And he wants to go through the corridor. Got numbers aplenty here, Brisbane. They work it through hands. Dunkley off to Bailey. Centre half forward, they find McCluggage. Wanted to give a handball. Decides to look over the top. All on his own is Eric Hipwood. So late in the third, Brisbane just trying to flex their muscles for the moment. Trying to get themselves a little bit of a lead going into the last break. So Eric Hipwood hasn't done a lot today. Been pretty quiet. Chance here to take his moment though. Give their team a 12-point lead. It's a tough kick. Left side of the ground. 45-degree angle. 30 metres out. But Eric Hipwood's up to it. Big goal there from the spearhead of Brisbane. So Brisbane get a handy break in the late stages of the third term. So we're back in the middle of the ground. A minute 08 left in this third quarter. Can Essendon maybe get one late? From the tap down, Mountain trying to work it his way. Did well there, Brisbane. Now Neil worried out of it by Caldwell. He's had a brilliant third term. He breaks past the tackler and drives it inside the forward 50. In front was Payne. Couldn't take it in the air. Martin fighting hard. Durham is there. Brisbane have the numbers. Fletcher wrapped up. He dragged it in, but the umpire says it's okay. 35 out here from the Essendon goal. So back in the tap. Goldstein, Gresham couldn't get rid of it. Wilmot's just got rid of it in time. Handballed into the danger area. Zorko with a clearing ball, and maybe Brisbane can get one late. Bailey takes it in the centre square. Kick out wide. They got a bit of overlap here, Brisbane. Hipwood just says to slow it down a bit. Wide ball right in front of the interchange gates here for McCluggage. In fact, it's Dunkley who he sends it long, looking for a flyer. Redmond did well to bring it to the ground, and it's out of bounds. So the rain's starting to pour down at the Gabba. 14 seconds left. Maybe Brisbane can get a late one here. Jai Caldwell's had 16 touches in the third term. I thought he had a lot. Tap down. Merritt slaps it out of the area for the moment. Comes off the boot of Wilmot and trickles out of bounds. So most likely the three-quarter time scoreline. There's only 6 seconds left. It'd have to be a quick clearance here for Brisbane. So Fort, big hit from the stoppage. Caldwell making that 17 touches, but a big last quarter coming up. Essendon have been fighting back since the opening term. They got scores all level with about 5 minutes left in the quarter, but 2 late goals Brisbane's way sees them lead by 12 points at the last break. 10-10, 70 to Brisbane. Lead Essendon 9-4, 58. All right, I'm going to have a quick drink. I'll just leave the fucking mic on, eh? big last term coming up. It's a big final term, of course. So, John Caldwell had 17 touches, I believe, in that third term. He was racking them up for fun. Yeah, 17 touches, Jai Caldwell. That is insane. So players are starting to move back into position now, of course, for the final term. Brisbane did do well, though, to kick the last 2 goals of the third term to keep themselves in front. So here we go. Last quarter about to get underway. Essendon fought their way back, but Brisbane 2 late goals keep themselves in front. In the pouring rain, here we go. First clearance won by Brisbane. Handball forward. Guelphy gathers it well. And now Perkins. Off to Martin. Wasn't a great handball. Has to fight back and get it now. Goldstein. Little chiseling kick. Almost perfect. Spoiled away. Only as far as Gresham. Who snaps. 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 Got it! Great start for Essendon. Well, that's a great start for the Bombers. They scored early in the third term. They score early in the last. Hasn't had a great night, Jay Gresham, but he takes his moment. In the pouring rain, Jay Gresham celebrates. So back in the middle we go. Now Brisbane get this clearance through McCluggage. Sending it inside the forward 50 for Morris. Probably should have taken it out in the hands. Would have been tough in the conditions. Drops the mark. Redmond gives it off now to Johnson. On debut. Blasts it wide. Great looking ball for Caddy. What a third term he had. He tries to shake around. Andrews did it okay. Blasts it high. It's going to be a tough mark in the conditions. Couldn't take it there. Durham did want to bring it to the ground. Guelphy broke a tackle. Gresham, he gives it back to Durham. Sets it up. Looking for a fly. And it's Goldstein! The veteran glides into the 50. And this is a big kick. Great work there from Essendon. And now Todd Goldstein. He's been pretty good at this his whole career. The set shot. He comes in. Umpire doesn't move. Scores a level again. Scores are all square at the Gabba. Brisbane have a real fight on their hands now. Well, Essendon are hot at the moment. They'll keep coming. What have Brisbane got now? So back in the middle we play. McCluggage getting it to Dunkley. High up and under ball. Still inside the centre square. Going up was Archie up against Johnson. Johnson did well. Caldwell couldn't get a clean handball away. Fought. Further back, missed his target though. Kako just slipped to the ground. Fletcher wrapped up like Guelphy. Just let that go. Umpire said play on. Ashcroft got the kick away. Merritt went up, couldn't mark it. Did well there, Ashcroft. Great read. Hipwood fumbled at the crucial stage. Had a dirty night. Archie fighting hard. Did well. Dunkley. Levi Ashcroft with the fumble. Did okay there, Johnson. Now Kako over the top to Redmond. Low darting ball up the wing. Good option. And he hits Peter Wright. He's had a good game tonight, Peter Wright. So Wright blasts it long towards the man, Caddy. Did well there, Leicester. Got a nice bounce. Caddy missed the tackle. Leicester blasted up the wing. Got a bad bounce there, Morris. Now Johnson growing into his own at the moment. Merritt looking through the corridor. Wasn't a great kick to Martin. Puts him under all sorts of pressure. Berry body lined it. Martin did well though to get it back. Caldwell to McGrath. And now Hobbs. He's got a couple of options. Just has to pick the right one. He did well. Hit his target in Gresham. He's probably too far out to score though from 50. He'll kick it to the top of the goal square. Where's Nate Caddy? Couldn't take the mark. He's on the ground though. Payne worried out of it. Neal slotted it out of midair. Dangerous option. Caldwell couldn't mark. Hobbs taken high. Umpire was there. Didn't pay it. No, he did. He is paid. The umpire in the middle of the ground paid it. The one that was controlling did not pay that free kick. And a chance here for Essendon to take the lead. This would be the first time in the match, I would say. Essendon have not led all night. Chance here for Ben Hobbs to kick Essendon in front. They've had a great start to this final term. They've kicked 2 quick goals. Hobbs, not much angle. Kicks from 50. Oh, they're not going to take the lead. He hasn't scored. He hit that horribly, and Fort takes a relieving grab. So Darcy Fort goes back to Payne, and now Brisbane have to go. They have to go win this one. They can't save it. Berry goes up the wing for Fletcher, fisted away by Redmond. What a performance this has been from Essendon. So many big players out. We saw that a couple of days ago in the mid-season draft. They had 4 players to pick from. So many big injuries to this club, and they are right in the hunt against the reigning premier. Back into play. Goldstein with the tap. Caldwell was held. Play on. Martin held up by Ashcroft. Ball up. Both stubs yet to be used. Wonder if they'll be coming on shortly. Dersma with the clearance forward. On the bounce, Wilmot. Handballed it back. Dangerous. Zorko did okay for the moment. Cameron couldn't take it. Caddy fighting hard. Fletcher's handball. Zorko trying to get it out of the area. Only as far as Clark to Martin. Now Roberts gets back onto his trusty left boot inside the pocket. Good kick. They are running all over the ground at the moment, Essendon. And now Peter Wright, an opportunity to get Essendon in front. So Peter Wright, One of the more reliable set shot kicks. It's going to be tough though. He'll kick from just outside 50. He goes long. It's working its way back. It's touched through. But Essendon hit the lead by 1 point for the first time tonight. So Wilmot, they're trying to work it out here, Essendon. Levi Ashcroft at halfback. Doesn't have any options here. Ashcroft has to try and work it out himself. Just blast it up the wing. Looking for Hipwood. Laverde got a fist onto it, and it'll bounce out of bounds. You wouldn't have seen this at quarter time. Essendon looked lethargic. They looked disinterested. They looked like Brisbane were just going to run home with a certain win. That we were more thinking about how much it was going to be. Right now, it's only 1 point in Essendon's favour. Goldstein with the tap. Gets at the back for Ashcroft. This is Will to his brother in Levi. Jamming it forward. In front. Good grab, Laverde. He's been very good, Jaden Laverde. He gives it back to McGrath, and now Redmond. He'll blast it up the wing, looking for an option. They spoil each other, the two Brisbane defenders. And Ashcroft, he let it go, but the umpire calls the whistle. Very surprised Brisbane haven't called on their sub of Devon Robinson just yet. Goldstein with the tap. Neil locked up against Caldwell. Got it out somehow. Dunkley. They can go now, Brisbane. Off to Lohman. Usually a good user inside the 50. Looking with his plethora of options. He goes for the longest one. Wasn't a great kick. Pryor, good spoil. It runs towards the boundary line, eventually out. Weird kick there from Lohman. He went for the long kick for Archie, but he had too much on it. It was just to the advantage of Essendon. And Pryor, just easy spoil out of bounds. Still heaps of time left in this game, of course. 13 minutes, 41 seconds left. Brisbane need a goal. Fought with the tap. Clark held up, got rid of it. Just in time now, Will Ashcroft. Kicking it towards goal, snapping it, won't get the distance. Morris, all on his own, breaks out the back, and Brisbane get one. Well, it's been all about Nate Caddy for a while. But Logan Morris says, hey, I'm the young forward of Brisbane right now. Good finish there from Logan Morris. Fought hard in the pocket, won the battle, and then kicked the goal. So Brisbane back out by 5. Well done there from Will Ashcroft as well with the clearance. Logan Morris has done really well up against Redmond tonight. So it looks like Zach Johnson has been subbed out for Essendon, just as tactical sub. So Sardis is on the field. Free kick's being called, going Brisbane's way. So Eric Hippock will take the free kick. So Sardis is into the middle of the ground, while Brisbane blasted forward for Gardner. Couldn't take the mark. Bailey trying to get into a little bit of a move. McGrath, good tackle. Rayner in and under. The bully is worked it out well to Will Ashcroft. Lohman jamming it inside to the pocket. In front, couldn't take the mark. Under pressure, Redmond did well. And now McGrath, great work to get it outside the D50. Long found his target in Day Wicks. So now Essendon. They now have the challenge in front of them. So Day Wicks, high up and under ball. Who's going to fly? Andrews just sat in the hole and took a good mark. So Andrews goes into the middle of the ground, finds Will Ashcroft. Right into the middle of the Gabba. He finds Wilmot. Should have been 50 there, play on. So the umpire was not going to pay it. So they go back to the commentary side wing and find Levi Ashcroft. Little short 20-metre ball, finds McCluggage. McCluggage has had a very good game. Kicks towards the lead-up of Gardner. Did okay, just couldn't win it in the air. Now Pryor, trying to get away from his opponent, goes to find Merritt. And now through the middle they can go here, Essendon. Kako realises he's got no one around him, so goes off for a bit of a run. Kicks it towards half forward. It's a good kick. Hits his target in Guelphy. Durham leading into the 50. Caldwell, he goes long, all on his own, leading into space is Archie Roberts. Well. Had a brilliant third term, Archie Roberts, and a chance here to give Essendon back the lead. They did this really well here, Essendon. Kako just made it up as he went. And that kick there, in fact, it was Sardis who got it inside the forward 50. Did it really well. But now Roberts comes in, kicks pretty well, but just kicks it wide. 4 points the margin. So Levi Ashcroft has been subbed out, just a tactical sub there. So Devon Robertson's on the field. So now Fletcher goes to the short kick, did it well, hits up the sub, and Devon Robertson has it. Short kick. Oh, under all sorts of pressure there was Fletcher. Took a good mark in the end. So Fletcher goes up the wing, looking for Dunkley. Oh, I don't know about that. So it's going to be a free kick into Dunkley. Handball all over the top now, Rayner. He'll blast it inside the forward 50. Who's going to fly? Berry almost took a one-hander. Ball brought to the ground. Hobbs, he's under all sorts of pressure here. Gardner drags it back under him. Trying to get it out now. Ashcroft bursting through. Just missed. I'm your favourite AFL streamer. I appreciate that, Boston. Glad to see you back. So just outside the forward 50 here now, Brisbane. Payne did well to get it out. 10 minutes to play. So from the tap down, Hipwood did it well. Now McCluggage, he's been the best on the ground all night. He can get onto his left boot. Inside, what a kick! And Logan Morris kicked the last goal of the game. A chance here to give back Brisbane an 11-point lead and make it a 2-kick game. McCluggage, that's his 13th inside 50 for the game. He has been brilliant. And that kick was exceptional. Well, it's been a bit of a battle of the young key forwards. Nate Caddy down one end. Logan Morris at the other. Logan Morris wanting to take the points. 45-degree angle, 30 metres out. It's trying to work its way back, but not enough. 1 goal the difference. So Zach Merritt will take the kick in here for Essendon. Goes commentary side. Long kick, Caddy has to go. Did well to bring it to the ground. Durham wrapped up by Rayner. It's given a high free kick here, Durham. And they want to go through the middle now. Redmond goes with a bit of a switch. Nice ball to Merritt. Into the corridor for Setterfield. He just stood still. And now Brisbane again can go forward. Gardner to Lohman from outside 50. It'll bounce, truly. Great work, Kai Lohman. He's got 3 tonight. And Brisbane have a handy break. I like your setup, by the way. The office with the Swans Award behind you and on the fireplace. Yeah, it's a premiership plaque, basically. It just says all the premierships and the Swans on it. Well, I'm moving pretty soon, so it'll look a bit different in a couple of... when is it? August, I think I move. So it'll look a bit different soon, but hopefully look a little bit more. It'll look different. I've already talked to my brother about it, so I think it's going to look pretty good, actually. So a good finish there from Lohman. He's got 3 tonight. He's been good. Now in the middle again. Brisbane starting to lift. Ashcroft sends it inside the forward 50 again. Brought to the ground. Merritt. Got it out somehow. Roberts onto Hobbs. And now Essendon need a reply. Kicks it up the wing. Was held almost there, Guelphy. Gets out the back. Right out of it there was Fletcher. Martin, he absolutely threw that. Umpire says play on it. I don't know how he missed that, but anyway. Caddy's kick. Out wide. McCluggage. Worried out of it there by Guelphy. He did it well. Now Martin, through the middle of the ground is Hobbs. They can work it, keep on going. Perkins, what the hell was that? Turned it over. Neal into the middle. Robertson was beaten. Now he gets it out. Is Neal. Wilmot, great pressure here from Essendon. Wilmot is spinning and turning and trying to get out of there. And a centre half back. Ball up. That's cool. 20. Yeah, it just says all the South Melbourne and Sydney premierships on it. That was out, by the way, anyway. So Ashcroft goes to the ground. Guelphy, try to get rid of it. McCluggage, cleared by Leicester. Sends it wide. Merritt did well to bring it to the ground. Roberts. Oh, great spin from Merritt. Coming to the fore now. Sends it inside the forward 50. Great work from Andrews. Dropped the mark, though. Caddy off to Durham. Wrapped up, let it go. Cleared by Ainsworth. Goes back to where it once came. Long for Morris. Couldn't take it in the air, though. Pryor on the up to Perkins. Merritt, inboard. Sardis. Now Setterfield. He can send it inside the 50 again. Long ball. Caddy. Can't mark. Onto the ground. Gresham. Roved it well. Threw that away. Play on. Somehow. I don't know how. Now Rayner. Running against the grain. They work it out here, Brisbane. Leicester. Bailey. Back to Leicester. And Brisbane do well to clear. So who else but Hugh McCluggage? McCluggage just had a big game. And he's having an even bigger final term. If you could believe it. So Gardner, inside kick, finds Zorko. 12 points with 6:33 left. If Essendon are going to make a late charge, they have to do it now. So Zorko goes back to Ainsworth. He goes with the switch to Andrews. And now Fletcher at halfback. Goes to a nice looking ball. Finds Berry. Nice ball. Eventually finds Will Ashcroft. He's really came into it in this final term. Looking to the bench, realising how long he's got left. Kicks it into towards the pocket. Looking for a fly. Gardner. In fact, it was Fort. Got taken high. Play on, says the umpire. Now the Bombers. Clark. Spinning and turning. Got the handball away. Roberts. And now Wright. This is their chance here, Essendon. Nick Martin takes it in the D50. And just holds up for the moment. Short kick. Hits up Perkins. Has not a lot of options here, Perkins. Has to make it up as he goes. Goes to the wide ball for Hobbs. Went up a bit early there, Hobbs. Play on, says the umpire. Ainsworth got it beaten well there by Gresham. Knocks it out. Centre wing, commentary side. Still time in the season. Got to win big games like Saturday. The Swans. I think we're probably gone. I mean, if I'm Sydney, if I'm being honest, I think we've got too many injuries and we're not playing well. I think we just try and win as many games as we can and not really worry about finals, work on to next season. We get a big pre-season and then we can work better in. That's what I think anyway. So Leicester takes the relieving mark at halfback. Looks into the corridor. Doesn't really have a lot of options. So it goes to the very wide ball. That's a dreadful kick by Leicester. He's kicked it out of bounds. And it's in the pocket here for Essendon. So may get a bit lucky here. Leicester doesn't make a lot of mistakes. That was not great at all. So 5:10 left in the game. Essendon now have it inside their forward 50. What can they do here, the Bombers? Fought with a tap straight down to Durham. Ball spills. Ainsworth locked up by Caldwell. Ball up again. They get a little bit closer here, the Bombers. $20 out from goal. Right. Try to get the tap away. Ball spills. Can't get it out now. Caldwell. In fact, it was Perkins. Gone. Good work. So free kick goes Will Ashcroft's way. Jezza GWS the best. They're doing okay here, Essendon. They're still in a chance. So now Ashcroft goes up the wing. Looking for Hipwood. Brought to the ground. Great row from McCluggage. He's been good all night. Now Lohman sends it towards the one-on-one Gardner and McGrath. McGrath did it well. 4:29 left. It's going to be tough here for Essendon. Young team. They're going to have to fight hard here if they're going to be able to steal it. Goldstein with the tap. Sardis socketed it out of midair. Marked in the middle of the ground. Good grab. I think that was Guelphy. That was a great grab going back. So Guelphy has the ball in the middle of the ground. So he goes long. Who's going to fly here for Essendon? In front, Payne couldn't mark it. Durham did well to take it to the ground, but it's a ball up. So about 40 metres out, straight in front of Essendon's goal. 4:07 left. Feels like a moment for an Essendon player. Who's going to fly? Who's going to go? McCluggage tried to get it out of the area. Rayner got tackled, handballed it wide. Looking for Archie. Oh, he went to ground though. Dersman did as well. Now Merritt trying to fish it out towards Redmond. Hipwood sees him out. You go for Collingwood, but I respect the Giants and the Catters and Sydney. Fair enough, fair enough. Wouldn't be surprised if Will Ashcroft, he's only been off for about 30 seconds, about to make his way onto the ground. Been really big in this final term. 3:51 left. Goldstein tapped it to the front. Dunkley up against Caldwell. Neither could get there. Fought little soccer off the ground. Setterfield did well off to Sardis. Now Redmond. Good little duck step. And he blasted inside the forward 50 once again. Caddy was there. 2 fists to it. There was Payne. Chaos bounce. Goldstein. Dersma. Setterfield. Inside the forward 50. Down low. Marked it well, Zorko. Great grab. Goes to the lateral ball wide to Bailey. And short little lead up kick was good. Hit up his target in Robertson, I believe. Who do I think wins the flag this year? At the moment, it's hard to go past Collingwood. Short little kick. Hits up Bailey and he goes back to Payne. So Brisbane just have to take a little bit of sting out of it here. Dangerous kick into the middle of the ground, but a chance here for the knockout blow. Dunkley's handball to Neal. He fumbled at the crucial moment. Now Hipwood tried to duck under it. Play on. McCluggage off to Robertson. Did a little step. At centre half forward. He works it out now to Ainsworth. An unlikely goal source to shut the game. Great work from the defender. Game over. They had to fight for it, Brisbane, but as all good sides do, they find a way. Great hit there from Ainsworth. I think Hawks, Pies, and Giants maybe Brisbane. Giants are going to be, they're a bit far away at the moment, but if they can find their form, get some players back, I think they're a chance too. Well, they've fought hard, Essendon, but I think they're going to come up short. So 2:42 left. It would need a minor miracle here for Essendon to take it. 666 infringement against Brisbane. That's the first one of the night, so just a warning. Goldstein from the tap. Breaks away. Now Sardis. Tried to get the kick away. It's an up and under sort of ball towards the wing. Hobbs up against Bailey. Gets a bad bounce. Cameron did well. Bailey tried to break away. Almost gone. Paid the trip. So it's an advantage here for Brisbane. Now Neal. He'll wind up a long ball towards the 50. It's good looking ball for Morris. Maybe 50. Looking for it. Didn't get it. He'll wheel and go now, Morris. Setting it up. Top of the goal square. Maybe a late chance here. Going up. Good mark from Roberts. Taking a relieving mark. Well, they have to simply go now, Essendon. He goes now to find Merritt. Going through the corridor. The Merritt kick. It's a dangerous kick. It's not a good one either. Neal wasn't paid the mark. Fought inside the forward 50. Spoiled away by McGrath. Ball bouncing towards the wing. Kako up against Ainsworth. Ainsworth kicked the last goal. Couldn't win it out. Merritt soccering it forward only as far as the Caldwell battle. Getting it away now, Ainsworth handballing forward. Roberts up against Neal. Roberts did it well. Merritt, handball to Dersma, fumbled at the crucial stage. Been a couple of them tonight in the wet conditions. McCluggage back to Dunkley. Ball spills, Setterfield, fighting hard, Dersma off the ground. Ricocheted towards Kako and Fort. Fort did well. Now McCluggage. Further on now to Ashcroft. He's been big in the final term. He'll blast it inside the forward 50. Laverde couldn't mark, hit the ground. Redmond. McGrath back to Redmond. Oh, they're under all sorts of pressure. Hipwood slapped on Rayner. Hobbs has to hold up. He did well. Top of the goal square for Brisbane. So tap down from Goldstein. Through the legs, working it well. Then McGrath. Now Hobbs clearing it outside the D50. Bit of a tumbler. Standing underneath it was Guelphy. And he'll get the free. So 55 seconds left. They're going to come up short. Weird looking kick there from Guelphy into the middle of the ground. It's a spiral. Ainsworth slaps it back. Free kick going to Brisbane and Ainsworth. Had a couple of big moments in his final term. Noah Ainsworth kicked his first goal of the year to steal the game. Oh, yeah, Durham's bit to the back wasn't great. So Brisbane just ready to soak up the final moments of the game. Andrews goes back to Payne. And he goes wide, finds Hipwood. 20 seconds left. So Brisbane's soaking up the final few moments of this game. Hipwood will blast it towards the 50. Looking for Rayner. Couldn't mark it in the air. Hobbs was there on the ground. Couldn't win it. Neal came off his back of his heel. Now Hobbs through the middle of the ground. Caldwell. They switch it on the outer side. Well, it may not have been Brisbane the whole night, but they've done enough in the final moments to claw through and come out victors in the end. A big win for the Brisbane Lions, winning 2 in a row and giving themselves a real chance at a top 4 finish at the end of the year. But they had to battle for it against a much valiant Essendon side tonight. In the end, though, the Brisbane Lions win it by 18 points. 13-12, 90 to the Lions. Win against Essendon, 11-6, 72. So that's about it, guys, on the stream. Thank you for listening and watching. Thank you for all the new subs and chatters as well. I've seen a few new guys tonight, so I really appreciate that. And, of course, the returners like Boston and that. Really appreciate your guys' support. But thank you for this viewing tonight. If you enjoy it, make sure to like and subscribe. Well done to Brisbane on the win. But that's all from me, guys. So I'll catch you all next time.